All right, we are live. We are live. The day of reckoning. Now, we're going to build the beat for a minute and play a song just so people can start falling in. But I think it's a trick went on because Sonetta just went live. I think Sa was told to go live at 2 because I'm going to be live at 2. That way it takes away some of the viewership and people will be watching Sonetta and half will be watching me. Somebody threw a monkey wrench in the game. So we're going to play one song, build the beat, let people kind of jump on up in here. And let it do what it do.
Been in the game for quite some time, writing words and spitting rhymes, listen up verbs and dropping dope lines. I'm here to take my shit back, motherfucker, don't give me what's mine. Ow. You wanna do what I do? You gotta do what you do. You wanna talk the way I talk? You gotta talk. You wanna walk the way I walk? Yeah. But you can't, so you might as well stop. Try. Who's Jack? 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 Do you wanna know? Do you wanna know where is Jack? I can tell you something about Jack. Where you are for real, bitch. Let me show you Jack. You like the stylish clothes I wear? Hold up, bitch, don't touch my hair. Don't touch my hair, girl. You smell the fragrance of my cologne through the air. I'm on about that. Know what you know about that, Jack? You wanna do what I do? You gotta do it. You wanna talk the way I talk? You gotta talk. You wanna walk the way I walk?
Donnie, we told him to get ahead of the curve because 2025 was coming.
Yeah. But you can't, so you might as well stop. Try. Who's Jack? 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 Hold up now, you must think you slick. You talking about that, but that ain't this. You think that you're magic, hocus pocus with all your tricks. Wanna impress me, bitch? Drown a fish. You be chill. You wanna do what I do? You gotta do what you do. You wanna talk the way I talk? You gotta talk. You wanna walk the way I walk? Yeah. But you can't, so you might as well stop. Try.
Look here, family. We're gonna have fun. The link is in the chat for Street Sufi, aka Ngozi. Just so happened to go. Sonetta went live at the same time. I think that was planned. Aunt was to say go live at 2 so we can cut down Chief X viewership. Would you say he snapped on that piano? So 2 more minutes, and we're gonna go in. I'm gonna go in and get started. That's when wait 2 more minutes for a couple of people. So bear with me. This is gonna be entertaining. It's gonna be educational, right? And I hate to toot my own horn. I told you so. I told you so. Right? So Chef Reed, appreciate the support. He said all right, so give me 2 minutes and I'm gonna start going in. And Ngozi will join us a little later. Let's do this. Hold on.
Your boy Uncle Cat, that's my #1 fan. Your first I never debate, I put it in your hand. Your niggas never been out of America, Penang, cartoon, I'm the man of Sudan. Now watch me do my end zone dance. Is that your friend home? It depends on chance, and my pen gone. Where your old homies at? Oh, they been gone. The bearers shoot like Genesis. I ain't even keeping the score. These are scrimmages. Look at them attached to smash these appendages. That's why you ain't got no content. Every show you do, you steady talking about my shit. At your last show, Greg, it really wasn't it. You said Jabari stole the debate and threw a fit. I'm a rock squad, everybody see the split. And Magi the only ones left in this bitch. That's why I took the Facebook group from you. And you ain't try to tell nobody that. He like a fan, get robbed and be cool as long as don't nobody know. Yeah, that's how he act. Pipsqueak pipe down. You ain't got no scholars, but you said you got you wiped down. Juju got you wiped down. Ngozi got you wiped down. It's like your show. I'm killing pseudos right now. And you can't read that metal letter that I write down. Then I prove him and me black people, they tight now. Said I smack your ass, bully, don't wanna fight now. Few of these give a nigga Z's with the nightgown. And teach a nigga about the smack migration. How atheist dudes pouring black libations. Cause the Mac tried patience, but they acting like they hard-headed. So fuck it, they can all get it. That's right, I'll bust your pinata, act like Nepal said it. Y'all edit on videos that give your dog credit. Authentic author, carcinogenic artist. Y'all should caution your authors. It's been a minute since I checked these feminine minutes. They timid with it. It's Magi for life. And Kemet winning. Unlimited images invented by Hemet women. Celestial pools of life. And I'm swimming in them finna kill them. They snakes, they ain't got no venom in them. Really never watch their shows. I'm done dealing with them. When I hear your voice, it's hard to feel a nigga. Sister Naya wrote your book and it was 30 pages. To hear your voice, it's hard to feel a nigga. Sister Naya wrote your book and it was 30 pages. When I hear your voice, it's hard to feel a nigga. Sister Naya wrote your book and it was 30 pages. Hey, they jealous of Jabari. The Magi bring the ladies and the fellas to the party. Just embellishing my intelligence. Hell if I be Gotti. Magi just caught a body. I don't know, and they ain't got no recourses. Get them on their show when they won't show sources. 350Z is dropped, they got horses. Little niggas tripping, should've stayed on their porches. Y'all ride poor, my nigga, we ride Porsches. Y'all Wikipedia scholars, we take courses. And the experts agree with me. Kemet on trial, wasn't nothing but G's with me. Brought my New York niggas out. Kemet straight black, yeah, you know what this shit about. Check the pinky, bro, who wearing the ring. If you see me in the streets, bitch, salute the king. I wouldn't pity a thing, I'm like Idi Amin. My committee sent me defending with the wittiest schemes. Hideous schemes, really it's the silliest thing for you to think that you could get me. On this mic, I'm more like Don Cornelius. Raise your hand if you never done an encore. I write the rhymes, DJs drop bombs for. Sitting low, hitting grass with the blade spinning. That's a lawnmower. Y'all should hang that up. That Caracuni interview don't even bring that up. I mean, this the type of nigga steal Moringa from Chief X. When you strung out, stealing is a reflex. Type of nigga steal Moringa from Chief X. When you strung out, stealing is a reflex. Type of nigga steal Moringa from Chief X. When you strung out, stealing is a reflex. I'm killing them. They don't want no beef next. I'm the Bruce Lee of the loose sleep text. If I do sing best, I'm in a new clean test, getting charged up while you boosting next. Hey, Smash just killed the whole pseudo killers. 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 Smash just.
All right, all right, all right. Y'all know I had to have a little fun with that song, right? And we're gonna get into this, right? I'm waiting on my co-worker Ngozi, my partner in crime today, right? So the title says breaking news, new DNA evidence of ancient Egyptians and green Saharians with street Sufi, aka Ngozi, right? And first of all, let me say these new pieces of evidence that came out got people hot, got people mad, people's panties is in a bunch, and they've been reading these papers and mentioning my name for whatever reason. I didn't write the papers, but people seem to be mad that the papers agree with everything Chief X has been saying over the last 4 years. Get over it. First, I told everybody, mind you, this is my Cash App, and Ngozi's in the house.
What's up? What's up? Peace and love. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Peace,
Now,
peace, peace.
now, mind you, people. Oops. How do I get Ngozi on here? Now, mind everybody, this is my Cash App right here. Money sign Chief X5. Feel free to donate. If I shared information with you that changed your mind, that enlightened you, right? That informed you of something new you didn't know before, and you want to say thanks, shoot me $1. Shoot me $5. Shoot me $10. Right? Ngozi, you can type your Cash App in the chat right here. I'll put it on the screen also. If you have a Cash App, I'm not sure. So the rubber has met the road. It's the day of reckoning, Ngozi. How you doing today, Ngozi?
Man, peace and love. How you doing, man? Glad
I'm
glad you
good.
had me on.
I'm good. So you looking forward to discussing this information?
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's get it in. It's a lot of misunderstanding and misinformation. First of all, a lot of people don't fully understand. Um, Justice Amir, brother Ngozi, some people say I double talk or I contradict myself, and people don't even understand what's being said or what hasn't been said or what has updated or what hasn't updated. So I'm going to be here to, break down the information. I want to say this clearly and publicly. I in no way believe that ancient Egyptians or ancestral North Africans are people that would be classified as sub-Saharan Africans. I know in no way believe that African Americans or West Africans or Central Africans or even East Africans in the sense of Dinka or one layer of the Cushitic people or what they call Ethio-Somali or those people, those Afro-Asiatic groups who are partly of Levantine origin themselves, but they have their own history in that portion of East Africa, which is below South. And also, I do not believe the Dinka or Western Africans or African Americans or anybody, I just want to say this publicly, are connected to ancient Egyptians. So Ngozi is not saying that. And even when Ngozi classified Ethio-Somali as a proxy, if you read, it's an article based off ancient migration that occurred, I think it was in 2013. Ethio-Somali morphology is not indigenous to the continent. It's actually Levantine, epipaleolithic Levantine. It talks about the Maghribi phenotype and the Ethio-Somali coming from outside. But we'll talk about that later. But go ahead.
Okay. So I need to do this and share my screen real quick. Okay, so and in Ngozi, I want you to add big piggyback on this after I put this up. I told people all last year that there's been some genomes, there's been some genetic studies, some DNA studies on some Egyptian mummies, right? Uh-oh, my screen is freezing, right? And they've been working on these studies, and for the last 4 years, a company called URAC, as you see on the screen, Population Genetics in ancient Egypt, right? They had a project that they were doing. Let me blow it up so everybody can see. Right? The started June 2021 through February 2025, as you see the project duration, right? The Institute of Mummy Studies. And I'm gonna just read this, and then I'm gonna let Ngozi piggyback on what they've been doing. In this project, we aim to investigate, and I mentioned this because people began to clown the Schunemann study in 2017 as if that was just some fluke thing. Oh, they didn't cover all periods. It didn't cover all geographical areas. Oh, but we got it covered now. In this project, we aim to investigate the population genetics, and that's what I'm talking about, population genetics, history of Egypt using ancient DNA analysis. For this, Egyptian mummies and skeletal remains housed in the collections of the Museo Egizio of Turin in the Egyptian Museum and papyrus collection of the Stadtliche, I can't pronounce these words, museum in Berlin will be analyzed, right? It says these specimens encompass a time span of about 5,000 years from 4,000 BC to 800 AD. It covers pre-dynastic period up into the invasion of Islam around 700, 800 AD, and have been recovered from various archaeological sites in Egypt. Thus, the data obtained by this project will, for the first time, cover what? All periods of ancient Egyptian history, as well as a broad geographical context. To all specimens high throughput sequencing methods, including DNA hybridization, capture techniques, will be applied to reconstruct mitochondrial genomes and for specimens exhibiting a good DNA preservation, also home genome data sets. Thereby, this project will investigate the genetic history of Egypt not only on a uniparental level, based on the matrilineal, but also on a genome-wide scale. I told people in 2024 in Ngozi, get ahead of the curve. This info is coming. And from my understanding, there's a whole bunch more coming. So what do you think about that project, and what has it yielded so far to you, Ngozi?
I mean, what we've seen with the NURAT finding is just a piece of it. There is much more. They got a lot more coming out. Some things I think won't be released until like you're gonna see a little bit more in 2026, and I think the rest. I think they said something about 2030, but a lot of it's already. Um, it's been it matches. It matches with some layers of Abusir, which was based off the mitochondria. It matches with this individual that they just put out with NURAT. These what they call them pottery mummies in that early dynasty. There's a continuity that's there. So yes, what we're seeing now is just a glimpse, but it's much more coming out, and there's going to be a strong continuity consistent with the population or the people, which also shows that the modern Egyptians are their ancestors.
Right. So I made a video in Ngozi about, was it 4 years ago? This one may be about 3 years ago. I said the modern Egyptians are the ancient Egyptians. In this video, people have shared on TikTok. I don't know who these people who shared this video because I made a little spill after it. This video got 1 million views. The modern Egyptians are the ancient Egyptians. Why? The ancient Egyptians never disappeared. They never left and ran off and PC'd up. They didn't disappear. The Egyptians record everything of importance and notate everything of importance that happens in their life and their lifestyle. They never said they dispersed and ran off somewhere or migrated somewhere and just like poof or disappeared. So, why are people saying they disappeared or an invading population replaced them? Why are people saying these things? In other words, Ngozi, Street Sufi, Justice Amir, they've been lying. Afrocentrics have been lying on the ancient Egyptians for their own personal reasons. Ancient Egyptians ain't said they went nowhere. Why are we saying this? Right? So let's make clear, and I make this claim that the modern day Egyptians have about 67% of the genetic makeup of the ancient Egyptians. Right? You have people in ancient Egypt today who speak Coptic. The Coptic language was the closest thing to the original language. Am I correct, Sri Sufi?
Absolutely. Yes.
And I said to people, if the ancient Egyptian was black or Negroid, I like to use the word term Negroid because people understand what you're talking about. Why you can't find nobody Negroid or black who speaks Coptic? All the Coptic speakers are non-black. I asked people to show me a video of black folk of Negroids speaking Coptic. Nobody has shown me in 3 years. How can you be the ancient Egyptians? What do you think about that logic, Street Sufi?
I mean, you're right. I mean, you can't be the ancient Egyptians when they still have their language intact right there. Not to mention, even the Muslim Egyptians, even though they have more Arab integration that occurred with them, they are still genetically more closer to, they're still kinship to Copts. All Egyptians are Copt. Copt means Egypt. That's all it means. It means Egyptian. So all of these people are Copt, but the Coptic Christians, they hold more of the ancient Egyptian DNA at a much higher. But even an Arab Muslim in Egypt, he's still genetically closer to his ancestors. The Arab genetic integration wasn't the overall, or not even half of the DNA of the people that's Muslim. You know, they're still mainly genetically connected. You go towards from the Delta North to Minion to Luxor. These people have genetic continuity that's been consistent for thousands of years. But the Copts have a specific culture that's still connected to ancient Egypt. Even though they are Christians, they didn't receive a lot of the Arab integration compared to the surrounding population. But I want to say this: when people hear that, they believe, "Oh, that proves that the other Egyptians are Arab." No, even the Arab integration that they received is not enough to knock them out the box from being their ancestors. Everybody, there's not a consistency with any group of people on the planet to be 100% anything. That goes for people in Western Central Africa. That goes for African American. Genetics is not stagnant, so nobody's 100% anything. But we're talking about the populations that's closest to the people. Nobody on Earth are genetically closer to the ancient Egyptians, but the people in Egypt. And Copts are the most close. These Coptic Christians, but I want to say even with Coptic Christians and Muslim Egyptians, they are still genetically close to one another, at the end of the day. So we're not going to knock the Muslim Egyptians off or out as if they're not Egyptian, because they're still Egyptian and they're still genetically close to their ancestors. That's all I wanted to say.
Cool. Like so, I've Googled and searched for pictures. I pulled up the Coptic Church, and I'm looking at the Coptic Church and all the members of the Coptic Church. Right, the Coptic Church is all in Australia, all in Europe, in Egypt, and not one person in the background or member sitting in the church was Negroid or black or would look something like me, my mama,
Mhm.
Wesley Snipes. I haven't seen not one. This is crazy, right? So where do these Afrocentrics get off? Mind you, Egypt is only 17% Arab. This is what the
Absolutely.
science says.
Absolutely. It's very small. That's what I'm saying. All Egyptians are Cop. Cop means Egyptian. So I mean, so it's the Arab percentage is very small. And I say that because the people that are Afrocentrists, they will use that and say, see, and Ngozi saying that no, I'm not. I'm not separating any Egyptian within the country from one another from their ancestors. We're not gonna do that, yo. That's all I wanted to say. So yes, the Arab percentage is very small.
Those people consider themselves Egyptian. not really Arab, although they embrace Islam. They speak Arabic, but they consider themselves Egyptian or North African, right?
And yes, and they also have their own dialect of Arabic. Arabic, Egyptian Arabic is not the same thing as Saudi Arabic. So just like Moroccan Arabic is not the same thing. These they have their own dialects of Arabic. Just like how I'm going to use us as an example in America, we don't speak proper English. We have our own vernacular of English. It's called AAVE, African American Vernacular English, aka Bonic. The Egyptians have their own dialect of Arabic, the same way the Moroccans have their own dialect of Arabic. So just because they speak Arabic does not make them Arab at all.
Now, before we get to these two different articles in Gozi, we have to knock down 2 points that Afrocentrics always want to hang on, right? And I'm going to show you some brief clips and how it got that way. Like, for instance, in Ngozi, I'm a very honest person. I don't sit here in front like I didn't used to think that I was a descendant of ancient Egyptians. I did used to think that. I was dead wrong. I've changed and evolved intellectually, right? So much so, real quick, let me do this. I have Egyptian artwork. You see those guns? I have Egyptian artwork tatted all on me. I didn't get this Egyptian artwork just for the fuck of it. I thought this is what my elders, this is what the elders used to teach. I got more over here. And my kids' names all attached. Life. Only begotten son representation. And my son's name is Rashad. So I got only begotten son, Rashad, right? I thought I had something to do with the ancient Egyptians. And this is what people need to get honest about in Ngozi. People have to stop fronting like they didn't think this same way. That's why groups were named Amin Ra Squad. That's why men called themselves Brother Ankh. This is why Saneter called himself Saneter. We all took on these Egyptian names because we thought this, or we pushed the information that this was true. All the elders taught we were descendants of ancient Egypt. People need to get honest about that. And their students and junior elders taught the same thing, and they teach the same thing today. ASCAC right now teaches in 2025, go to ASCAC website, Egyptian symbolism everywhere, and all them elders would say our ancestors, referring to the ancient Egyptians. Am I lying about this, Street Sufi?
Absolutely. A lot of people speak of that. A lot of people, I believe that what happened in America, I believe it on I blame it on the educational system of America and in this portion of the West. Um, I come to the conclusion that a lot of people in America as a whole are not really educated on populations because a lot of this misinformation, like a lot of the elders that came in our community, Dr. Auntie Jope, other people, who else? Dr. Ben. A lot of these things came from misinformation that they gathered, um, outdated, poor sources. They'll use like some old white guy book to try to prove the premise of blackness. Also, I don't want to blame Christianity because religious theology is religious theology. But when people were brought in bondage, when they lost or disconnected from a sense of identity and lost their ethnic groups and who the hell they were, well, before people became FAA, as I say, foundational African Americans, not just BA, right? But as they became that, um, when they thought about Egypt, they thought Egypt was Africa. But what African Americans didn't understand, or Black Americans didn't understand, is that you don't have to be Black to be African. So when they thought about Africa, Africa was automatically Black based off, misinformation and outdated stuff. So a lot of the elders they came up off that. Some people came up. See, Egypt is a very catchy thing. It's money in Egypt. You can create the Nubian movement. You can create Egyptian secret.
Mystical, magical
Yeah,
place.
mystical magic. And here's the thing: a lot of people know humanity is driven off hope and ideas and wanting to be part of. So especially with people that went through what we went through in the transatlantic slave trade, people want an identity. So when you have people that create Egyptian organizations, Nubians and other Shriner Egyptian groups, Moorish groups, people want to be part of. So it becomes a money grab because it's something that people want to hear about because people want to be part of. People want to know their identity, and it's just not the Black Americans that do it. Even white Americans have their little secret groups where they create these, pseudo groups. Pseudoism, it doesn't belong to one group of people in the sense of misinformation is misinformation. So a lot of the people, a lot of us thought in the beginning that the Egyptians was black, or people thought that they were directly connected to the Egyptians. And at one time, I don't think that the African American or the black, a lot of even some people in sub-Saharan Africa or south of the Sahara, they can't fathom that people that don't look like them live on that continent with them, especially north. So when they see a man who looks like, if you live all the way in the Mediterranean bark, he looks like an Italian in Algeria or Morocco, and they see him and this man tell him, I'm African, I'm North African. The first thing they'll say is, no, you're an invader. And don't even understand the demographics, the geographics. And this comes from not being scientifically literate, but understanding people, populations, climate, time, mechanisms of evolution fully. They just think because a person looked like this, it doesn't make sense for him to stay on the continent. So when they see these Middle Eastern, North African, I'm going to say type white or lighter skin groups, they're going to say, oh, these people are invaders. They don't belong here. And this creates the narrative of what goes on in humanity. And you even have some pseudo fragmented white scholars that pander to the idea of a black Egypt, right? And then black people hear it because they don't, because a lot of us don't have enough, the data. So when they hear this, they run with it. Like you had Robert Brevall, who made the book Black Genesis. When people read that book, because he said it, it was the authority. But it's misinformation. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I think it comes from poor education and not being scientifically literate. Because a lot of people fall into the category of believing that ancient Egyptians was black.
Before I made the video, Black Egypt Debunked, I knew you knew this already, that they really weren't Negroid in Ngozi. 2 years before I made that video, I knew this. I was saying to myself, these just ain't black. Because I was having debates with Moors and I started studying, listening to the Berbers, the Amazigh people, and I was researching how long the Amazigh people been there. And I'm like, these cats been there 30,000 years, right? So I just didn't have the balls in Ngozi to just put it out there. What? I
So,
didn't have the ball. I said
but
they're gonna attack me. People gonna go. But for 2 whole years, I was thinking this in Ngozi, and then I finally got the balls to just say it. The ancient Egyptians wasn't black. But you know what triggered me, Street Sufi?
was that
A lot of y'all may not be in Ngozi. What we a lot of us are Facebook friends,
we are.
right?
We
I'm
are.
in Rod Squad. A lot of YouTubers, y'all may not. A lot of these arguments started on Facebook before it came to YouTube.
Absolutely.
I'm in here arguing with Asar and Sanjeti of the former Amin squad who I broke up. Let me stop. Look, I'm in here arguing with Sanjeti one day on Facebook. I thought I was an Afrocentric. An Afrocentric didn't have a bad connotation to it to me at this time. So I'm thinking I'm an Afrocentric. But Sanjeti told me, Chief X, you're not no Afrocentric. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, you don't follow the Afrocentric model of research. I said, what? I thought research was research. There's an Afrocentric model of research? Like, I'm like, he was saying that I don't push and support the same elders and the same information the elders are saying. So right then I said, you know what? I'm different than you niggas. I'm not here for the go along, get along gang. I'm a truth seeker. And that's how I started off in the community. Whether I was wrong or not, when truth do come to me, I'll evolve and change along with it. So when Ngozi said that on Facebook, then I started looking at these cats sideways.
Mm-hmm.
I started realizing people are pushing pseudo linguistics.
Mm-hmm.
Asar,
Mm-hmm.
bullshitting, trying to create a and act like Egyptian language and Afro-Asiatic language is connected to what he says connected to Street Swoopy, us black
Ban
folk.
yeah, Bantu languages, Niger Congo.
Yeah, so when
Um,
you right, so
mhm.
when you say Negro Egyptian, you're just saying black Egyptian. You're just connecting us and making us, So I had to expose Asar has pseudo-linguistics. This is when people started getting pissed with me because they thought Asar was just on point and telling the truth. You want to add something to that, Street Sylvie?
Yeah, well, yeah, with Asar Imhotep and Wuja, if follow the history, Team Osiris, even when I came up with Team Osiris, one thing I got to say about Egypt is that Egypt is very catchy. Everybody loves Egypt. I came out, my name was Ngozi. Ngozi is an Igbo name. It has different, and Tanzania is used for skin. In Igbo land, it can mean, blessings. It's a unisex name. It's a catchy name, but I always try to, it's entertainment. It's a character that's been created because I like to talk. I believe it or not. Chief X, people that know me know I love to talk about history. But here's the thing. Um, Team Osiris was Egypt is very catchy. I didn't want to say Wissir like a real Egyptian. I didn't want to say Asar like people translate it into. I wanted to say Osiris, which means our solution is revealed in science. It's a catchy name. We actually had a brother that was Egyptian, actually Egyptian, that was with Team Osiris. If people remember Team Osiris, because Team Osiris was created like 9, 10 years ago, long ago. So we had an actual Egyptian on there. So it was never telling people that the Egyptians were not Egyptians. Now, at one time, I was like you, Chief X, because you're pandering to a certain audience. Now in Ngozi, I don't do scams. I don't make dimes off this. I like to talk about this. I don't ask people for donate. I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't try to create organizations and none of that. I love to talk about this. But also at one time, because the audience that we talk to, Egypt is so catchy. If you're in this conscious community, everybody loves Egypt. This place is a beautiful place. It's a classical civilization, one of the most powerful empires in the world. Has been consistent for thousands of years. But here's the thing: when you get in this field, Egypt is catchy. So you got to talk about Egypt to get your point across in some type of weird way. And the idea of prompting it is a sense of blackness is what the people want to hear because guess what? That's most of the time what the people getting their money to. Also, we come from backgrounds where we have grudges against the system without fully understanding the system. And I'm realizing that later. So I'm like Chief X. At one point in time, I always knew the Egyptians were not directly the population south of the Sahara. So what I do, I found catchy phrases. When I read Article 2023, Ethiopia, Somali, them niggas fall in line with those type of people more. Or North African Libertine, they fall in line morphologically with them. So you find terms like that. Now, the idea of their skin, yeah, I promoted they had dark skin. I did. But also I had a show that I did 8 years ago where I said I never denied the modern Egyptians from being Egyptians. What I used to say is that they were admixed. And the truth, to be honest with you, the population there is admixed with populations that was indigenous to North Africa or Northeast Africa and people from the Levant. So nobody ever on my behalf ever denied modern Egyptians from being Egyptians. But I did pander to the darker groups. Like, yeah, they're the true ones. Because we all did that. Because hey, that's what the audience wants to hear. So yeah, you're definitely right, Chief X.
So we're gonna get to the information. So I don't see you rushing Ankh when he's running his mouth before he get into it. But you want to rush me, that's okay. I know that's your boy. So we're gonna talk about two. I gotta knock down these 2 points before we get to the articles. One point I want to knock down is this: we came from the South bullshit, right? And um and I just want to briefly speak on this Mediterranean thing. Ngozi, who I brought out this Mediterranean argument because I knew if I started calling people Mediterranean, a- African Americans and Black Americans automatically know they're not Mediterranean people. So it was a tactic I used to enlighten. I wasn't lying. I said North Africa is Mediterranean Africa. The Egyptians were Mediterranean people. They had Mediterranean food. They were the preeminent force in the Mediterranean world. This shook up everybody. They argued, no, for a whole year, damn near. Now everybody has came around. Who started that Mediterranean tactic? Street Sufi. We can't hear you. Might be on mute.
Yeah, I hear you. Chief X. Go ahead.
So who started that Mediterranean tactic?
All right. Well, you definitely said Mediterranean first. I mean, that's what I was arguing about not too long ago. You brought the understanding of the Mediterranean to them, and you were the first person to say that the Mediterranean groups, and you brought it to the community. You talked about the Mediterranean, so yes, you definitely said that first. Definitely.
Okay. So me and Ngozi, we did this shit in Ngozi. When I started going in on non-black Egypt, Ngozi was right there with me. And we did this. It's red panty night. It's time to paint the town red and celebrate. Ngozi has been very honest for the last 4 years. He's been very helpful with genetic information for the last 4 years, and he's been very honest. So I appreciate him for that. I tend to think of myself as an honest person, right? Um, um, so Joel Armstrong is Onk's buddy. He was on the Onk's channel the other day talking shit about me as if I'm crazy. Joel Armstrong, I haven't been wrong about nothing I've said. Ankh has been wrong. He's come around to my side. And it's okay for you guys to apologize and say, hey, Chief X, we really thought you were wrong. We thought you was tripping. We thought you was off. You know what I mean? We thought all that. But come to find out, Chief X wasn't wrong. Ngozi was not wrong. And we've been fighting this fight, and a lot of people owe apologies. I don't mean no harm to no one. I don't lie. If I did say some misinformation, I'll correct myself the next day. I'm a real one, and I'm a sincere truth seeker, right? So let's let that be known, okay? So Joel Armstrong, who was wrong, is your boy. Now, we're going to get up off that. So this is what I want to do before we touch on those things. About this thing that people are saying we came from the South. Let me share my screen, and then we're going to get to the information.
Hey, Chief X, I wanted to say this too. People tend to, I don't know if I got enough time to say this on the platform. I got to promote my YouTube channel.
Oh, hold on.
I caught you niggas again.
Ox said he's Somalian and African American.
Hold on.
Check it. You did?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. My bad.
I want to say this. I forgot to promote my YouTube channel, Street Sufi. You guys get a chance, check it out. I have a YouTube channel, Street Sufi. But I also wanted to say this as well. People tend to, and this happened yesterday, last night. People tend to believe that because I'm on Brother's Ankh platform or I come on your platform that I'm picking sides. No, I don't get involved in controversy. Ankh is my man's. Chief X is my guy. That's my man's as well. I don't get involved. So for people to say I'm switching both sides, people need to know the long history of what's going on. See, you guys see what's on the surface, but don't really know what's happening. So I don't pick sides. So if I'm over there with my brother Unc on the show, if I'm over here with my brother Chief X on the show, that don't mean I'm picking sides or none of that. I'm following the data, and that's it. So I just want the world to know that I'm not into controversy with people over the internet. So Ngozi ain't switching sides. It's not to be honest with you. These guys are cool. It's not that serious to me. Seriously, I love information and data. So it's people already saying weird things. So I just wanted to say that publicly.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna play these two clips, and then we're gonna move on to the journals and the information. But I just have to make this clear, and I have to speak on on coming from the South real quick. Okay, now years ago, hold on, is that the one? And I'm just using Ankh as example because I know Ankh. I've seen all his material, and I know where the dead bodies are buried. So I'm using Ankh as an example, and I'm really not trying to make this about Ankh. I just want to show you how we claimed and we all said that we are the ancient Egyptians. Let's go. Is my screen sharing, Sufi?
No, it's not up.
Will you see it up now?
Yeah, I
Okay,
see it.
there we go.
And Ankh and Smash Rockwell
The Amin Ra squad, I just caught them lying. I caught them teaching black Americans that they are Egyptians. I caught all these niggas claiming that they are Egyptian. You think I'm lying? See, you niggas is on record. You niggas is on record. You've been lying all the last year, acting like you ain't never said you was the Egyptian. Here is proof. You niggas is on record. You run your mouth too goddamn much. You talking to Chief X. Chief X don't lie. Chief X will bust.
One of the other claims was, y'all niggas ain't no real Egyptians. I wanted them to use the Igbo tribe so I could show them where the migration took place, because that's how I got access to the pyramids in Egypt, because my family members out there are one of the protectors of the pyramids, and I'm going to show you something. When the videos go up, y'all ain't never seen the type of access to pyramids that you seen me have. So when they say you got to pay for
these niggas just talking and get together and hit bad. Yep, the Amin Ra squad used to teach black Americans that you are Egyptian. You think I'm lying? Let's go.
Oh, they not gonna let you in? When you see me in there praying, chanting, meditating, not just one pyramid. Not just one pyramid.
Now, he claimed through the Igbo migration he Egyptian. He can prove that shit. Now, watch out.
I did this in Giza. I did this in Saqqara. I did this in several pyramids for Dolo with my wife. Let me tell the story, baby. Yo, so the point I was going to drive to Ankh was another thing that they got called on is because they keep saying that y'all not Egyptians. But he showed you in his DNA that he got the right to argue for Kemet. Exactly. I said I got the right to argue for
Ankh got this bogus DNA claiming he Egyptian, he Nubian, he Ethiopian. Watch.
Yeah. Hey, see, that's important. Mad job to fuck up. The niggas was mouses in there. And then I showed the Jewish DNA. My shit say NA, 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 NA. But hold on.
So he said he has no Jewish DNA, not applicable.
Name, or is that like a title?
Let me move forward because I want to tell people they know where he got these lies from.
We magi, the magi up. So what is the magi? Or we got much? No, that's.
He want to get back to talk about his DNA.
The Benjai, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's just important. And see, I always fuck with ancestors, right? Now, the site I'm fucking with for my DNA, right? I got like the most expensive shit because the person donated. I'm be honest. All right. Okay, person donated that, right? Now they routinely upgrade that shit, right? Listen to me. Now, the whole month leading to the debate, the site was down. They say we working on it, working on it. I'm like, damn, I want to have that shit. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, by the time that shit went back online, yo, and they had more results because they went and tried more people, my shit was like the mad job. I was like, damn. They was doing that. Dude, I promise you, dog. Hey, I promise you.
He said his DNA said the Magi.
So
slip up a tongue when you lie a lot.
Were you saying something, Ngozi?
Yeah. I thought that was you talking now. No, I'll wait till you finish and I'm gonna respond.
Okay.
Sometimes you just slip up, but he means Nubian. But you can hear it from the horse's mouth.
My father line, it was just there. You know what I'm saying? It was 12% for the mother line.
Wait a minute.
My shit was like the Magi. I was like, damn. They was doing that. Dude, I promise you, dog. Hey, I promise you, my mother line, my father line, it was just there. You know what I'm saying? It was 12% for the mother line. Then it was 54%, you know what I'm saying, for the Nubian side of Magi. I'm the Egyptians, Ethiopians. So, nigga, I tell them niggas, go.
He said the Nubian, the Egyptian, the Ethiopian. I ain't gonna lie to nigga.
Now,
I
just wanted to show that should be claiming. He also said his parents was that. Right? Now.
So.
Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so that company, so what happened was that I didn't even know that video exists with Polite. I didn't know that, but that company, it's the companies that these DNA tests, the DNA tests that Brother Onk took, said that it's, see, just why you got to be careful with the DNA companies that you grab. If it's not Ancestry DNA or 23andMe, you want to make sure you follow DNA companies that has higher resolution You have these little DNA companies that play like little games. Like for example, even 23andMe with the entertainment of Ramesses the Third. Like I'm EP2. I'm EP2. I'm E1B1A7A or EP252, right? And on there, paternally, it says I match with Ramesses the Third. Now we know that Ramesses the Third was not E1B1A at all.
I got a question on that. I'm gonna add, on Ramses and that. I have a question specifically for that after this clip.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so, oops, where are we now? Okay, so not only did he claim that, just 3-4 years ago, he claimed he was damn near Somali.
Gotta go straight with it.
Ox said he's Somalian and African American. Check
Now,
it.
mind you, he said his mama was Gullah Geechee one day.
You did?
Gotta go straight with it. Nah, man, come on, yo. That ain't how they went. What about before we knew about DNA? Then what? What was you doing? You were celebrating Africa. So now we call ourselves triangulating into it. Okay, my DNA markers coalesce with people in Somalia and West Africa. My DNA markers coalesce with people in Somalia and West Africa. Hey, my DNA markers coalesce with people in Somalia and West Africa. One on my mother's side, one on my father's side. So what? I can't what? Come on, man. It's just stupid, yo.
This nigga, he's Somalian and West. See, you niggas is on record saying crazy shit. When? All up in 2021, niggas making videos about Amin Rock Squad Facebook group versus Chief X claims.
One more second.
You from Somalia? Let's hear you say it again.
Chief X crazy ass went to West Africa one time and lost his damn mind. One damn trip, lost his mind. He lost his mind before that. No, he really lost his mind when he got there.
Sean Eric, another fucking fraud who been keep cupcaking with lying on me. Motherfucking fraud. And he from the horses.
We gotta do, then we all gotta do the West Africa. If I show my DNA, then what? Come on, man. So what? I can't play Somalian now. I can't do that. I can't what? I just gotta go straight. I can't play Somalian now. I can't do that. I can't what? What? I can't.
Okay.
I can't.
Okay.
So I was gonna say, so again, these companies, that DNA test company that he got, it said that he shared affinities with Somalia and West Africa. And again, when these DNA companies say this, people got to be very careful. Sharing affinities with Somalia and West Africa, that's very far. But you have these companies that say that. They say they share some affinities, and they don't share affinities at all with one another, with distant populations by far. But you have these DNA companies that say these traces of DNA is shared between Somalia and West Africa. So the reason why he was saying that is because that's what his DNA company said. It's not his overall DNA composition. So that's why it's important to understand what DNA company or what DNA, these companies, what you're getting involved with, because it'll give you information like that, just like people doing with Ramesses III. Like if I was a pseudo, I could say I descend from Ramesses III. 23andMe was saying that, but that's not true. The man probably wasn't even 20. I'm certain he wasn't E1B1A. You see what I'm saying? But because of this old outdated information, some companies are still running with that, promoting misinformation. The same thing with African ancestry with Rick Kittles. He tells you, and I'm not knocking his credentials, but what I was saying was with African ancestry, he's telling you that you're part of an ethnic group, and a haplogroup doesn't determine your ethnic group. It doesn't determine who you are. That's a small percentage of your DNA. That's the sex chromosome. It's not your overall DNA composition like your autosomal DNA. That's a very small percentage, close to almost less than 1%. That's a sex chromosome that doesn't recombine. So haplogroups is not a determining factor to say who is who you are. So when you make money off saying like if I take a paternal test with him and it says your forefathers is connected to the Mbembe people or the Yoruba people, that doesn't mean I'm Yoruba because I share a Y chromosome with Yoruba people. You know what I'm saying?
So, and this is the last thing we're going to talk about before we get to these two genetic articles, right? Forever, because we got to knock this down. I've been saying Dr. Ben made a claim that we came from the what does it go? How does it go?
It came from the south.
We
Where
came from the south,
where happy dwell.
where God happy dwelled, at the foothills of the mountain of the moon, all down there by Lake Victoria and shit. And all these people, eventually, these Negroids, eventually traveled up north and formed ancient Egypt. So I've made plenty of videos, as you see this title, Coming from the South, BS Exposed. They came from the South. I said, who did? Conscious Community Exposed. They came from the South, debunked. Didn't armor come from the South, or is that cap, right? Brother Ankh destroyed by Egyptologists in regards to coming from the South, right? This is a running theme that they've always said. Then they turned and they came from the Green Sahara all the way east, all the way down to Uganda, to the Great Lakes region, all the way up to Sudan, and then they started Egypt. The whole ploy was to make Black Americans think that they formed Egypt, right? So I was digging through the crates before we move on, right? And they had this video up 4 years ago. This is one of the first videos that they tried to challenge me on. It says, Amin Rock Squad Facebook group versus Chief X's claims. You see it at the top? The entire Amin Ra squad and me was battling. And I was spanking their ass so hard, right? So this is where they came from. This is where people are at this time. And then we're going to move on. We're not going to be long, people.
But the motherfucker, I'm gonna chill, cause don't.
On right now, and I'm going, huh? He said,
watch this.
Yeah, he on. Yeah, and them drugs.
Yeah,
them drugs.
I don't.
Is the Berbers African?
I'm hearing Ankh right now, and I'm going, huh? He said what? No, but how?
They calling me crazy, saying I'm wrong for saying we didn't come. See, they clowning me, but turns out I'm right.
Don't make no sense. The Egyptians said that they come from the south. The Egyptians said that they come from the south. The south is Africa. If the Egyptians said that, I learned this from the squad, okay? I'm repeating what I learned from the squad. The Egyptians said themselves, the Ramesh said themselves, they came from the south. The south could only be further in Africa.
They talking about deep down there where black folk is, right? So then, Asar Imhotep, let me get to the timestamp. We got receipts. Makes the claim that African Americans are descendant of Egyptians.
What were the claims that you all were, addressing? But I think, so if y'all move past the first one.
No, we didn't. We were just talking in circles. But you can go ahead and make your point, because you know what I mean. We want to hear it.
Okay, well, I don't really have a point, because I don't know what the actual claim was other than what you typed. You said Asar said that African Americans are descendants of the ancient Egyptians.
Right.
Yeah, bam. Now Asar made that claim on Facebook, and we argued that shit for a whole month. On pseudo killers, on Facebook, all the above. But let me move forward real quick. I'm just giving you some snippets so I'm laying a case. So Wajaro tells you where that stuff come from.
I mean what people that the Egyptians say they, and it's mainly because of Dr. Ben, that the Egyptians say they come from the south, the foothills of the mountains of the moon. Where
that ain't true. But go ahead.
Now Ankh says that's not true because he's talking about the quote. Ankh is not talking about people coming from the south to form Egypt. I'll clear that up. Now, real quick, before we move on, listen to what y'all
say where they coming from. I just want to make sure I'm clear on that.
Now, the Egyptians, that's what I was going to say. The Egyptian civilization, what makes the Egyptian, they're an amalgamation of different people. That come from the Sudan and from the Sahara, different people. That come from the Sudan and from the Sahara, of different people. That come from the Sudan and from the Sahara.
See, they're trying to tell you that the Egyptians come from way down in Sudan, Khartoum and these black areas, the beginning of the Nile. 2 weeks ago, Ankh made a video saying, hey, Eritrea and Ethiopians and all these people came up and formed Egypt. I got all that on record. Okay? Just 2 weeks ago. So these cats are still pushing that the Egyptians came from south. No, the Egyptians formed Egypt in Egypt, Upper and Lower Egypt. They didn't come from nowhere else. Narmer is from Egypt. Narmer's not from Sudan.
He's from Thinis.
Thinis, which is next to Abydos, right? So Ankh
themselves, so their state unification is one thing. It never was.
Facts. That's the way I learned it.
It was.
Facts. That's the way I learned it.
Now Ankh is still on that page. I just wanted to show you how he co-signed that, right? So we come up to here
to just tell us that, right? And that needs to be
because Chevron's the only one refuting this bullshit.
Yo got that Nick Cannon camera, yo. That shit look like you making $1 million over there, yo.
that gotta be you know, you got to pull that out more, because I don't like who was the people in the Delta area, and then who was the people in, you know what I mean, in the valley.
So Chevron's basically, you got to clean that up. You just can't say the South. Where in the South? Like, hold on real quick, and we're gonna move forward because I'm belaboring this real quick. I just want to know let you know what people were saying and thinking.
Everything around
the trails. It wasn't people. It was the reindeer. And then later on, the Romans and them used the trade. We just stared at the roads.
Is African Americans descendants from ancient Egypt? Y'all talk everything around the damn point.
But I ain't never said
Don't
that.
nobody want to address that. Don't nobody got no information on that shit, though. You feel me? Shit is crazy.
So Sheriff getting frustrated because these niggas won't admit that they don't have nothing to do with ancient Egyptians. They're not related to ancient Egyptians. Chef and Corey was the only ones giving pushback. King Sosa was sort of riding the fence. He didn't come around till later, but let's go. This is what Ankh thinks right here.
To it. So you mean to tell me hold on. I'm gonna give you the point. African Americans in America can choose any African nation they want to glorify. Point blank. Point blank. The same way the Europeans do, they have a bit of Irish in their motherfucking ass. Everybody do it, dog. But when we do it, all of a sudden we culture vultures. How you gonna culture vulture?
Ankh want to be able to claim everything in Africa. He wants it to be one people and everybody all get along. And long as you're an indigenous African, we all the same. It's a bunch of bullshit to muddy the waters. One more point.
By myself. Okay, well,
how did y'all refute it genetically, though?
Well, I think we are refuted genetically, but if you can make a culturally, argument, then sure, let's say that one.
Okay, well,
how did y'all refute it genetically, though?
Ankh said, how did we refute that the ancient Egyptians wasn't black folk Negro genetically? He's in denial at this point because he's trying to teach that the ancient Egyptian was black. But here we go.
All they got is just shit in the Delta. I just want to know. I'm listening.
Let me say this. I'm an African American wholeheartedly, and I have my paternal genetic markers go back to I share an ancestor. I can use myself as the example or no connection. If Chief X is making a claim that African Americans have absolutely no connection to ancient Egypt, I said, what by what means? Culturally, genetically, or what layer are we talking? So somebody said genetically. I said, well, that one is not true, because genetically, I can use myself as the example. I do share an ancestor with Ramses III. I do share an ancestor with Ramses III.
So that goes back to, see what I'm saying? That goes back to the E1B1A.
Right.
Chief X. A lot of people that's taking 23andMe who has E1B1A or on the EM2. They're saying that they are related to Ramesses III. A lot. I mean, it was a professor that did it. They had him on a news thing. He was E1B1A, and the lady was like, "Yeah, this such and such has the marker that goes back to ancient pharaohs," and it's misinformation. It's misinformation. So
So, and we're about to get to the information. So, like for instance, I'm not the DNA guy. That's why I got you here, Ngozi. So when people say this E1V11 and E1V1A, I don't know. I'm not that guy.
mhm.
I think they're saying that they're related to Ramsey. Now, I'm going through people's DNA tests, and a white boy and a Mexican said they related to Ramses too. And I just think it's some advertising and some marketing thing.
It
And
is.
it is. So I think you told me it's an ancient 30,000-year-old haplogroup that many Homo sapiens on around today have
Yes.
some kind of relation to. Can you bring that
Yes.
up?
So E1B1A developed 40,000 years ago, just like E1B1B. They diverged. They developed 42,000 years ago. EV38 developed from E1B1 and peeled off. EM215 developed from E1B1 and peeled off. The problem is with haplogroup EM96 or micro haplogroup E, people don't know where to place it. Some scientists or geneticists say it's shaped in East Africa. Some people say it's shaped in ancient North Africa. Some people say it developed in Eurasia, right? Or early Eurasia. They don't have really, it's postulated. They don't, but the reason why they push Eurasia, because 23andMe also says that you and Ramesses III share ancient ancestor that goes back to ancient North Africa or Middle East. And people believe, and this is what's going on. E is related to the population that became non-African at base. Haplogroup CTM168 leaves out of North Africa between 70,000 to 80,000 years ago. From this line, it gives rise to DE, which is YAP, right? Y chromosomal polymorphism, right? Which is the YAP marker. And it gives rise to CF, which gives rise to most Eurasians deep from CF, F89. DE is some of these D's independently lives in the Adamese Islands, and it also lives in Japan and lingers in Japan, right? And then you have the rest of these E, that's just D. Then you have the DO that they just discovered, and it's lingering in Nigeria, some parts of Arabia. Then you have haplogroup E. Now we go all the way past haplogroup E from EM96 to EP177, all the way down to, I'm sorry, EP147 to EP177 to E1B1 or EP2. This is where E1B1A and E1B1B diverge. But we're not even focusing on E1B1B. The problem is with E1B1A is it diverges. A lot of sub-Saharan or people south of the Sahara, a lot of us have later clades or later downstream streams of E1B1A, right? So basically, some people can say Eurasian man went back into Africa and integrated with population south of the Sahara. People can say that. Or you can say ancestral North Africans went back down and drifted into population south of the Sahara and, gave rise to Congolese and Niger Congo people. When people want to play that game. Anyway, this marker is very old to answer your question. Having or a possible shared Y chromosome with somebody in that area does not make you them when a marker is so old. And some white people, white Americans, right, to a lesser degree or a lesser extent, some white boys down south, you'll find a white man that's 98% European, but his Y chromosome might go back to a West African because he might had a great great grandfather that was a slave, right? That doesn't mean he's black. Or you can find Mexicans with this marker sometimes to a lesser extent, right? That doesn't mean that you're related. But here's the thing: this is the bigger thing. Higher resolutions. When you take those little, I think it was 13 or 12 STR short tandem repeats that was used, right? And you take that in and use other settings or other calculators. Biblical DNA did it. Ramesses the third was not E1B1A, right? And if you take it again and put it in a higher resolution, he's not E1B1A. So I'm just here to say that Ramesses was not E1B1A. 23andMe is still promoting it and advertising it to get people in. And even, let's say, even if E1B1A did linger in ancient Egypt, it's so old that doesn't draw you ties to people. That doesn't make you their direct family. You just share paternal or maternal marker with populations. That's deep ancestral maternal or paternal lineage, which makes up a smaller percentage of your DNA, not your overall autosomal DNA composition. It's just like, for example, Chief X, modern Egyptians are paternally more indigenous North African than dark-skinned Sudanese who have Y chromosome J that came from Southwest Asia, to a higher percent. I mean, a long time ago with the Arab, during the time of the Arabs. Not to mention, even in the Neolithic and Bronze Age, some J was lingering around there. But the point is, when you look at a Sudanese man, a Northern Sudanese man, just because he's dark-skinned, you're gonna say, based off his haplogroup, that he's not classified as black. No. And then when you look at an Egyptian who can look fair skinned as an Italian or a white man, you're gonna say because he's haplogroup E, he is black? No, we're not gonna do that. Haplogroups is not, it doesn't determine what you look like. It's a very small percentage. And to answer your question, Ramesses III, that thing that they're advertising is bullshit. So E1B1A is not, that doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
It doesn't mean anything.
Cool. So now we're going to get to these two genetic journals, these two articles from Nature. One on the Green Saharian and one on genome wide. What is it? Hold on, let me just go and pull it up. We got to freeze for a minute. Oh, Joel, I see you back there. Can you hear me? Nod your head. I can see you. Okay, so I'm bringing people on after we finish these two journals, so you're welcome to come on. So I don't know if you want to wait there or you can just hit the link again after we finish these two journals, but you can come on up. See how I am, Joel? Anyone can come up. I'm not like Ankh, preventing people from coming up and trying to defend themselves after they get slandered and lied on. So now,
yeah, it was an Atlanta businessman that they said. I meant to say this, Chief X, before you go. That on the news, the lady said this Atlanta businessman has a Y chromosome that goes back to ancient Egypt. It's just bull crap.
Which article you want to attack first?
We could do the Nuret mummy. We could do that one first, and then we can get into Tokahori or the Green Sahara afterwards.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So, family, people began to read these two articles and get mad. Why? Because it basically cosigns what Chief X has been saying for years. We're not related to the ancient Egyptians. And Ngozi may not use these terms, but I use the terms Caucasoid, Negroid still. I don't give a shit. Okay? Say it's old if you want. I'm making a fucking point. You know what I mean? Because
I still use it too sometimes, Chief X. It depends on. Sometimes I do.
Right, because it was when I was trying to use black people. Oh, I don't know what black is, and they going all over the place. Oh, well, this is people dark to brown and dark light to dark and all this old light to dark dumb shit argument. I don't give a shit about that, Ngozi. People are light to dark in every fucking country. What the hell does that mean? It's a bunch of Mexicans and Native Americans darker than me. Does that mean they black or Negro? Hell no. What is people talking about? I'm gonna lie on me and said, "Oh, he's reading these articles and getting mad because they agree with me." So he decides to throw a lie out there and make you think Chief X been wrong the whole 4 years. He said Chief X said there was no dark-skinned people in Egypt. And here go you dumb folk, hype man, talking with him and acting like I said some stupid shit like that. I've never in my life said that. I said the ancient Egyptians was not Negroid or black folk. That's it. I'm the one who's showing Nubians in Egypt in parades and processions. So of course black folk was in Egypt. Excuse me. Dark folk was in Egypt. What are you talking? There's light-skinned Filipinos and there's dark-skinned Filipinos. Does it mean the dark-skinned Filipinos are black? No. People vary in pigment tint. You know what I mean? There's light-skinned Cambodians and there's dark-skinned Cambodians. Light-skinned Mexicans and dark-skinned Mexicans. Light-skinned Egyptians and dark-skinned Egyptians. That don't fucking mean they're black or Negroid. Cut the bullshit. They came up with this light to dark shit because they was trying to muddy the waters and act like when you say dark, you're talking about black folk. Cut it out. Okay. Let me start reading this and Ngozi.
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you think about this light to dark shit they be talking about?
Skin color is irrelevant. Skin color doesn't really determine. Again, that doesn't matter.
Right.
Skin color is irrelevant. Light to dark. You got light. You got light Europeans, dark Europeans. You got very, very, very dark Arabs like the Mahiri and Bedouin B groups, and you got very, very fair skinned Arabs. So dark to light doesn't mean anything, and that's very important too. And also, dark skin does not mean sub-Saharan. That doesn't mean that. And white skin does not mean European. That doesn't mean that. So
Joel Armstrong. And matter of fact, not just Joel Armstrong, anybody listening, I will shoot you $100 to your Cash App immediately. If you can pull up anything I ever said, there's no dark people in Egypt. You get $100 on the spot. You stop lying, Joel. Your boy made up a goddamn lie, period. Okay, here we go. Whole Geneme ancestry of old kingdom Egyptians, niggas. It ain't new kingdom this time. Cry harder. Whole Geneme ancestry. So over 2017, well, we got more shit for your ass. None of the DNA supports you sub-Saharan Africans or black folk or Negroid. It don't matter if they found one mummy ever. It don't support y'all claim. It don't support shit Dr. Ben was saying, Amin Rasquad was saying, that I was saying way back in the day. It don't support none of you. It don't support none of the elders. You guys are losing. Okay, here we go. I didn't went off on a limb. I'm sorry, Ngozi. Whole genome ancestry of old kingdom Egyptians, right? Abstract. Ancient Egyptian society flourished for millennia, reaching its peak during the dynastic period, approximately 3150 to 30 BCE. However, owing to poor DNA preservation, questions about regional interconnectivity over time, and as I'm reading this, please stop me, Ngozi, and address something, okay? As you please. You with me?
yes, sir. Go
Okay.
ahead.
However, owing to poor DNA preservation, questions about regional interconnectivity over time have not been addressed because whole genome sequencing has not yet been possible. Here we sequenced a 2 times coverage whole genome from an adult male Egyptian excavated at Nuwayat. I can't pronounce that. Nuwayat.
Yeah, you
Radio.
said it. You
Okay.
said it right.
Radiocarbon dated to 2855 to 2570 CAL BCE. He lived a few centuries after Egyptian unification. God damn it, after Narmer, a couple hundred years later, he was on the scene. Bridging the early dynastic and Old Kingdom periods, the body was interred in a ceramic pot within a rock-cut tomb, potentially contributing to the DNA preservation. Most of his genome is best represented by North African Neolithic ancestry among available sources at present. Is
So
that so?
so right there. So we want to stay right there. I want the audience to know 80. I mean, most of his DNA that was Neolithic North African is not what some people believe. Me and brother.
Just so they understand, I think Neolithic is about 10,000 years ago.
Yeah, it's a Neo. So during the Neolithic starts between, the Neolithic, it ranges between that 9,000, 10,000 year peak to
Okay, go ahead.
Before the Bronze Age,
Okay, go ahead.
and the Chalco before the Bronze Age and the Chalcolithic. But anyway, this Neolithic population of North Africans, I don't want people thinking that, and I was trying to explain this to Big Brother Reggie on the show the other day. Neolithic North Africans are not what people may think. Neolithic North Africans are highly Natufian. They're mixed with ancient Natufians. So when you talk about Neolithic North Africans, one of the populations that,
Uh-oh, you went out.
you hear me? They use the
Nah,
population
you're back.
called
You're back now.
Skirit Ra'azi. Skirit Ra'azi was in Morocco. These are Neolithic North Africans. And they were a blend between post-Natufians. When you talk about post-Natufians, you're talking about pre-Pottery Neolithic groups. And the pre-Pottery Neolithic group, when you study them, pre-Pottery Neolithic A, B, and C, they kind of mingle with a little bit of people from Anatolia that was responsible for Göbekli Tepe. And it was also mingling with people in the Sinai. They crossed through the Sinai, mingling with Harithian population. Then they migrate through the Sinai, go through the Sahara a very long time ago, and they start mingling with the Ibero-Maurutians. Now, the Ibero-Maurutians or the Tafarots was a blend between Zudzana, a population group that was connected to ancient West Eurasian hunter-gatherers in the Lesser Caucasus, And that 40% they said they corrected it. It wasn't Haza Yoruba, like they were 40% Takahori. Takahori was the distinct ancestral North African lineage. So when you talk about Neolithic North African, you're looking at something that's Eastern Taparat that was already a blend between Zudzana, which is ancient West Eurasian, a small portion of that Takahari, and Post-Natufian, who also had lingers of a drifted Mushibian population who came from, crossed over as Eastern Ibero-Maurutians, mingled with the Cabrians, and later on created the Natufians. And then after the Natufians, you get Post-Natufians who started to mingle with people in southern Turkey, who create pre-Primate Neolithic groups. And they've been going in and out from the Nile to the Sinai to the Levant, backwards and forth for a long time. So Neolithic North Africans are already blended with ancient Middle East. This is already at this time MENA, Middle East, North Africa at this time. So I just want to say
God
that.
damn it, Ngozi. See, according to Afrocentrics, though, these people was black and Negroid because this is prior to invasions and shit they be saying during the dynasties, right?
Correct.
So this throws all that bullshit out the window that they was black and then the invasions churned them. Nope. These were not Negroid people. North African Neolithic ancestry is not Negroid. Okay, so let's continue. Yet approximately 20% of his genetic ancestry can be traced to genomes representing the Eastern Fertile Crescent, including Mesopotamia and surrounding regions.
So I'm gonna answer. So this is the later Eurasian component. So you didn't have just one, like Neolithic, they were already filtered with Eurasian. They were already predominantly MENA. But then this is the later phase of Eurasians that come from the eastern portion of Mesopotamia, next to the Zargoth zones. And these people actually match with the Chalcolithic Iranian findings or the Chalcolithic Canaanite findings. And the Chalcolithic phase, which is the Copper Age, the Neolithic Levantines who were post-Natufians, they kind of got replaced by these later Iranian and later Lesser Caucasus groups that start to come in. And when they come in, they dominate. So this is when you start to see a later phase of the Levant in this phase. So it's more connected to Bronze Age Levantines, right? Which is also connected to Eastern Mesopotamians, which has ties to the Zagros zones. So this is what integrated into Egypt a long time ago. And here's the thing: if you go back to pre-dynastic times, between Nakata 2 and Nakata 3, you find Mesopotamian type style coming in. Not to mention, you find that symbol when Narmer unified Upper and Lower Egypt. You find a symbol on that, a creature with a long neck that's wrapping his neck around with the two dudes on the side of with the throat of Mahdi. That's called the Jasper cylinder. That's from Mesopotamia. So this tells the story that Egypt always had ties with even as far towards those zones a very long time ago. Not to mention, later on you start to find lapis lazuli, and lapis lazuli came out of Afghanistan. But that's something different. But yes, this is that layer.
This reminds me when Concrete Corey, Concrete Corey used to always say, "Them Levant niggas, yeah, them Levant Mediterranean niggas."
Levantine
Corey
nigga.
was right. Okay, this genetic affinity is similar to the ancestry appearing in Anatolia and the Levant during the Neolithic and Bronze Age. Damn.
See
Although
what I'm
more,
saying?
although more genomes are needed. Now, as I'm reading this, I'm reading it as it is. I'm not adding my bullshit because I'm not no DNA guy. I'm just getting Ngozi to interpret this. But when Ak was reading this, he's acting like we're gonna do something nefarious with it. I'm like, we need to do some preemptive stripes because if Chief X and these other people get a hold of this, they're gonna put their own spin on it. No, we're not gonna put our own spin on it. We're gonna put the spin that's supposed to be on it, what exactly the article says.
Correct.
Okay. Although more genomes are needed to be fully to fully understand the genomic diversity of Egyptians, our results indicate that contacts between Egypt and the Eastern Fertile Crescent were not limited to objects and imagery, such as domestic animals and plants, as well as writing systems, but also encompassed human migration. Right?
Correct.
Let me say this about migration. I keep telling people that they were migrating and back migrating, right? So when they do DNA and they find all these North Africans have Neanderthal DNA, these Europeans have Neanderthal DNA, more than continental sub-Saharan Africans, is because it was them who was migrating outside of Africa, admixing with Neanderthals, coming back in and out. So they have more Neanderthal DNA because they was migrating out and back in. We have none because we stayed put. My ancestors didn't go up out of Africa. Am I right on that or wrong?
No, you're absolutely right. So sub-Saharan, or what they label as sub-Saharan Africa, have deep base ancestral lineage when it comes to humanity. Homo sapiens, when they diverged from ancestral East Africans in West Africa, a lot of our ancestors migrated from Homo Kabish populations 200,000 years ago. Some people became basal Central African hunter-gatherers and West African hunter-gatherers. So they were already far, but they had deep ancestral base rooted for humanity. They don't have much genetic drift for populations that went out and also populations that went through bottlenecks, even though sub-Saharan Africa has much diversity amongst themselves. But what I'm saying is that we represent a population that never diverged out or outside of the continent or went through bottlenecks outside of the zones that we were shaped in. So we come from a population that diverged from ancestral East Africans as early as 200,000 years ago, separating within a continent, going through our own things. Some traits that we have is even later derived, but it happened amongst us right there. So the populations that left out, or the populations that went north, they went through further genetic drift, they went through bottlenecks, and not to mention the populations that left out, they were more connected to ancestral North Africans that they diverged from. They were already separated from ancestral East Africans a very long time ago. You would get into that a little later,
Okay.
but yeah,
Okay.
you're right.
So Social World says everybody knows this. Total bullshit. Niggas been saying for decades, we circumnavigated the globe. We were the first everywhere. Everybody don't know this. They think we left up out of here and back in and went everywhere and populated the entire earth. Let's be honest. Okay, here's the main page. We're going to continue. For thousands of years, the Egyptian dynastic civilization, approximately 3150 to 30 BCE, developed monumental architecture, sophisticated technology, and relatively stable belief systems, becoming the longest-lasting civilization known. Following the political unification of the northern and southern regions of Egypt, lower and upper Egypt, it didn't say nothing about no motherfucking Sudan. At the end of the 4th millennium BCE, the Old Kingdom, 2686 to 2125 BCE, witnessed considerable advances, including construction of the first step pyramid complex of King Dozier and the Great Pyramid of Giza, built by King Khufu. The population has been considered to be of local origin with limited input from neighboring regions. Yet more recent archaeological evidence shows that trade connections existed across the Fertile Crescent since at least the 6th millennium BCE, if not earlier, with the advent of Neolithic package, such as domesticated animals and plants. Cultural exchange continued to develop through the late 4th millennium BCE with the growing Sumerian civilization of Mesopotamia. This period overlaps with the appearance of additional innovations in Egypt, such as the pottery wheel and the earliest evidence of hieroglyphic writing in the form of ivory tags in tomb UJ at Abydos, dated 3320 to 3150 BC. Right? Our knowledge of the ancient Egyptians has increased through the decades. Bioarchaeological analysis include dental morphological studies on the relatedness to other populations in North Africa and West Asia. However, the lack of ancient genomes, particularly for the early periods of ancient dynastic history, remains a barrier to our understanding of population continuity and gene flow in the region. Although individuals from ancient Egypt were subjected to the first efforts in isolate ancient DNA, direct genome sequences has remained elusive because of the challenging regional DNA preservation conditions. So far, only 3 individuals from Abasur have yielded nuclear DNA, all post-dating emergence of dynastic Egypt by thousands of years. Okay. Moreover, these are not complete genome sequences, but are limited to approximately 90,000 to 400,000 target enriched genotypes. Over the millennia spanning the dynastic period, Egypt witnessed several wide ranging wars, occupation by foreign rulers, and dramatic episodes of internal political collapse, first, second, and third intermediate periods. Together, these processes may have substantially altered or reshaped the overall genetic structure and ancestry of the Egyptian population. Here we present a whole genome sequence of an ancient Egyptian individual recovered from a necropolis at Nawayarayet, however you say it. Necro means dead, Sufi. Necropolis. Don't necro mean dead, Sufi? Anyway, if you said something, I can't hear you. You're probably on mute. Did you want me to read this also? Is Ngozi there? Hold on. Oh, there you go.
Hey,
I said,
no, man. Somebody called me, man. When they called me, that shit dropped me off. But I'm listening,
right.
man. Mhm.
Okay, let's get back to it.
So I wanted to say too.
Are you saying something?
If people read the article, I want people to know that the Neolithic population that they use as a proxy that it was close to was Neolithic Moroccans. It's a group called the Skerrit Roazi. And this is not the same group that's like the Khilifo Bon, because the Khilifo Bon population that came in, they were more connected to EEF, early European farmers that back migrated. Even though this one had some of that element in it, but the population that it used was the Skerrit Roazi group. And they were mainly more in the Tufian like. So I want people to check that out. And when you look at them, they were mainly in the Tufian like, and they were still like 23 to 30% Ibero-Maurutian, which was already Zuzana, which is something closely related to some layers of West Asian layer of Natufians, and the Tokahori that was at 30 to 40%. But with them, that would have decreased. So they were already mingled. So I want people to know the population that's being used as a proxy with these groups.
Okay, cool. I also wanted to add on, I need people to listen to this, right? So, like, the Mediterranean world interacted with each other. So when Egypt had different invasions, Greece, Rome, two of the main ones we speak on, those are Mediterranean people also. So I remember I did a trick on people. I said it was a Muslim lady with a hijab on, a Muslim wear and all this old stuff. And I said, guess what part of North Africa is she from? Is she an Egyptian Muslim woman, a Moroccan Muslim woman, a Tunisian Muslim woman, a Libyan Muslim woman? What is she? Everybody was guessing. Everybody was dead wrong. I revealed that she was an Italian Muslim woman. So sometimes when people say invasions change the makeup of the people, invasions didn't affect Egyptians' genetic makeup much at all. A lot of time Egyptians stayed to themselves. Just because you was in their country don't mean they was fucking and marrying you. Okay? So sometimes like in West Africa and Central Africa, you couldn't tell the difference. If I said, is this person from Cameroon or is this person from Ghana? You couldn't tell because people in a certain region look alike. West and Central Africa is a region. The Mediterranean region is a region. People have similar genetics and look alike. That's why you can't tell. So even if some people did start screwing and different genetics came across, they would still look fucking similar to they look today. Do you agree with this, Ngozi, before we move on?
Absolutely. Yeah, people breed, yeah, you can pick up them traits. Yeah, absolutely. People breed, develop traits. You also have parallel evolution. People develop in similar climates, same organism, which is Homo sapien sapien, but they living amongst one another, and they even, let's say, an ancestor went away and developed a unique trait, and then they come back in, and then they live amongst people. They start to develop similar traits, because of. And then you also have parallel environments where people can develop similar traits based off similar environments. People got to know the full mechanism of evolution with convergence and parallel evolutions and what goes on. So it's just not sexual selection. It's also what goes on with populations that's near, and also people that's in similar environments. Absolutely.
Okay, so here go the rest of the article. Here we present first genome-wide data obtained from the same two approximately 7,000-year-old Saharan herders. Damn, 7,000-year-old Saharan herders. Recovered from the Takakori rock,
Takakori. Hmm.
rock shelter in the central Sahara, a
Correct.
site that has yielded an exceptional wealth of data and material remains. Our findings show that these individuals predominantly carry a previously unknown ancestral North African lineage that lacks the Neanderthal admixture typically found outside Africa and appears to have remained largely isolated, with the notable exceptions of small traces of Levantine admixture. Them Levantine, them
So
Levant.
so so I'm gonna stop. Can I say something right quick?
Sure.
So the Tokahori, the larger chunk of the DNA is ancestry North Africa. This is pretty much what we call later Tyrians that survived. And it did have, based off that 7% that was Levantine, she did have traces of Neanderthal DNA, just less than most non-African populations. But even with like the Natufians, people like to play the game and say they didn't have Neanderthal DNA. They did have some Neanderthal DNA. It just wasn't as much as other West Eurasians, but they still had traces of it. With her, she had much less than the average Natufian, based off her having 7% Levantine. But her overall other layer, which was that 93% ancestry North African, that represents a very late addition of later Tyrians that survived, that drifted, like when you go further down. The Tyrians been in North Africa. If we go back in the earliest phase from 130,000 years ago. But the article says that she drifted from ancestral East Africans 50,000 years ago, and they became their own unique cluster. So this ancestral North African is its own. It's not close to population south of the Sahara. She's actually more closer to Zoti Khan, which is a population of people that lived in Europe a long time ago. Nobody has a lineage today, but it's a distinct lineage. She's closer to her that left out. She's even before this lineage that Zoti Khan had is a segment that's even before the Emirate culture that was in the Levant that became mainland West Eurasians. So when we follow this thing, this Takahari, she represents a population of ancestral North Africans that, if you go further back in time, that's why a lot of the errors with I don't want to. I just want to explain this to the audience. When they looked at the Ibero-Maroons at first, and they said they were Hadza Yoruba like, that was wrong. Now they got higher resolution that Yoruba Hadza like was actually Tokahori. The thing about these Tokahori people, most ancient Eurasians, when you go further back in time, they diverge from this type of people, which is ancestral North Africans that they just recently found out that left out through Egypt and not Ethiopia. And these people already had a unique genetic drift that shifted towards those populations anyway. So that's all I'm going to say on that.
Okay. So yeah, let's continue. After we complete this one and the next little article, we're gonna assemble a panel, and people are welcome to come up and have a conversation. Okay. So I think I left off here where it says Levantine admixture. These results support the pastoralism in the Sahara. These results support that pastoralism in the Sahara was established through cultural diffusion rather than significant human gene flow. Furthermore, the Takakori individuals exhibit a close genetic affinity to northwestern African foragers, but no substantial ties with sub-Saharan African lineage. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, people. Implying no detectable genetic exchange across the Green Sahara during the African human period. That's what AHP stands for, right? Let me just read this sentence again. Furthermore, the Takakori individuals exhibit a close genetic affinity to northwestern African foragers, but no substantial ties with sub-Saharan African lineages, implying no detectable genetic exchange across the Green Sahara during the African human period from sub-Saharan to North Africa. What do you get from that, real quick, before I continue?
I mean, that's the truth. I mean, They had their own cluster. They already had their own unique cluster. I mean, I'm sorry, this is not talking hard, but they already had their stuff going. They already went to their own further genetic, drift when it come to this.
Okay, cool. Tucker Corey, Window to the Green Sahara. Should I read this?
Sure, you can read a bit. We can go further into it. Yeah.
Okay, so just tell me when we need to move on to the next one. The Takahori Rock Shelter, situated in southwestern Libya's Tadrat Akas Mountains, offers a remarkable glimpse into the Sahara's greener past. The excavations at this archaeological site revealed a timeline of human settlement from how you pronounce it, late Akakas hunter-gatherer fishers from around 10,000 calibrated years before the present to a long pastoral Neolithic occupation dated from approximately 8,300 to 4,200. What does CAL mean, Ngozi? Okay. Data from these latter periods traces the socio-cultural trajectories of Neolithic herding societies in Central Sahara, from early livestock introduction to the development of a full pastoral economy characterized by humans and the use of secondary product. Within the deepest recesses of the rock shelter, 15 human burials were unearthed pertaining to a time frame between approximately 8,900 to 4,800 CAL, with the majority dating back to the early 8,300 to 7,300 and middle 7,100 to 5,600 pastoral period. Strontium isotypes analysis. Try to read genomic analysis or what? Unmute yourself.
I'm sorry, Chief X. I'm doing something with my for my daughter. But yeah,
Okay.
you can start. You can stop right there. You can stop right there. So yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, you can stop right there. So yeah, this population or this woman, they represent a longhorn population that's always been there. They represent a distinct, like I said, ancestral North Africans, which is really just Latertarians. She was just survival lineage, a survival population that was preserved there. That's all she was. And again, this Tokahori is this is very important because this goes to show the diversity of the continent. People already had their own clusters way before. So basically, ancestral North Africans, if you just take out the later additions that they got, right, the later integration that they occurred, they had their own segments or their own signals very long, way before anybody else came in, and they was already separate from populations south that they drifted from. And some layers is shared, right, but they already were separate with their own unique clusters by thousands of years. And when you start looking at terms like cal, that's calibrated years before present. So that's the calibrated years.
Okay, cool. You good, Ngozi?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just helping my daughter. I'm straight. We good, she Bex.
Okay, so we're done with that article. Here's the last article, and then we're gonna get a panel together. This one from Nature. Ancient DNA from the Green Sahara reveals ancestral North African lineage. You know, this article, and matter of fact, the whole live stream is dedicated to Smash Rockwell, Reggie, Ankh, and Jabari. I need Jabari to answer to this whole presentation. Smash can try to answer. But you cats been talking all this shit about they came from the Green Sahara all the way east, all the way to the Great Lakes, and then came up. You gotta stop. Let's read. Ancient DNA from the Green Sahara reveals ancestral North African lineage, right? It reveals what? Ancestral North African lineage. Mind you, North Africa has never, ever, ever been Black Africa. Although it is one of the most arid regions today, the Sahara Desert was a green savanna during the African human period between 14,000 and 5,000 years before the present. with water bodies promoting human occupation and the spread of pastoralism in the Middle Holocene epoch. DNA rarely preserves well in this region, limiting knowledge of the Sahara's genetic history and demographic past. Here we report ancient genomic data from the Central Sahara obtained from two approximately 7,000-year-old pastoral Neolithic female individuals buried in the Takakori rock shelter in southwestern Libya. I remember Afrocentrics always saying all these rock shelters, these rock paintings, because they're in this red ochre, that means they're black folk. Shut up. Everybody used red ochre. It's one of the oldest colors. Takakori rock shelter in southwest Libya. The majority of Takakori individuals' ancestry stems from a previous unknown North African genetic lineage that diverged from sub-Saharan African lineage around the same time as present-day humans outside Africa.
Boom, right there. Stop. Right there. So that's important. They diverge again, like I just brought up. These populations diverge from most humans from those East a long time ago. So, like I said earlier, the people that left out of the continent who went into Eurasia, they drifted from ancestral North Africans. At base, they diverged from East Africans, but this is way before. You got to go further back in time. Most humans come from that. So these humans went through their own thing, went through their own genetic drift, drifted off, lived in North Africa, and the populations in North Africa, some of them left out and became the out of Africa population. So they still was close in line with Eurasians at base, And then after that, the earlier layers drifted from ancestral Homo sapiens south of the Sahara.
Cool. Both Takakori individuals are closely related to ancestry first documented in the 15,000-year-old foragers from Talforet Cave, Morocco, associated with the Ibero-Mauritian lithic industry and predating the African human period. Takakori and Ibero-Mauritian associated individuals are equally distantly related to sub-Saharan lineages, right?
Correct.
Suggesting limited gene flow from sub-Saharan to northern Africa during the African human period. In contrast to Talforet individuals who have half the Neanderthal admixture of non-Africans, Takakori shows 10 times less Neanderthal ancestry than Levantine farmers, yet significantly more than contemporary sub-Saharan.
Boom, right there. So that goes back to what I said. Even though she had less, she still had some because again, she was still 7% Levantine. And also that 40%, as you go further in reading, that they said in earlier articles that the Ibero-Mauritians was 40% or 35% Haza Yoruba-like, they corrected that. It was actually Tokahori. And also this goes to debunk Pan-African James, who says things like there was no Neanderthal in Africa. Right here, the Ibero-Mauritians are the tougher ones had it. They had Neanderthal DNA, but Takahari had it lesser than Ibero-Mauritians, and Ibero-Mauritians had it lesser than a lot of people that came back in that gave it to them. So that goes to show you that the stuff was already lingering around. There you go.
Cool. Our findings suggest that pastoralism spread through cultural diffusion and deeply divergent, isolated North African lineage that had probably been widespread in North Africa during the late Pleistocene epoch. I guess we'll read this main and call it.
You don't even have to read the main. We basically, it's going to basically say this. So you could just start letting people up, because I think this was a great show, and we proved the premise of what we needed. If you want to read it, you can.
No, I'm good. Now, people are welcome to hit the link. Excuse me for the wait, Jeffrey. People are welcome to hit the link. Ask some questions, or if they disagree with something. If someone, I seen Joel said I was wrong about. If he's saying I'm wrong, that means he's saying Ngozi's wrong, because Ngozi is breaking this down, and not me. So just because you like Ngozi more and you want to say he's right and put 100 up and act like I'm wrong, these are some mental health issues. This is called being disingenuous. This is called being personal. Sometimes you gotta let that personal shit go. Um, so Jeffrey, are you Facebook friends with me?
What's up, Chief X? This is 93.
Jeffrey 93.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, you
93.
don't.
He's
Me and you
cool.
don't talk that much, but you probably remember me. I be on Garfield channel a lot.
Okay, okay.
But anyway,
You don't,
um,
you don't want to show your face today, huh?
that's my face right there. You know who this reproduction is? This is of that latest paper that just came out for the Egyptian. That's what he
Okay.
looked like. So anyway, so let me just say this. I agree with y'all. I don't try to connect myself to ancient Egyptians. I don't believe in that. But my question is it problematic to describe the Egyptians as black people?
Okay. Let me just see. Get you. Let us know where you're coming from. Do you think ancient Egyptians built the pyramids and were black folk?
Okay, so I'm not an Afrocentrist at all. I debunked the Hebrews. I debunked all the blackity black stuff. I just come to do that because a lot of it is just wrong. But my question is it wrong to describe them as black?
I'm gonna address your question. I'm just trying to get. I need to know your angle. Just be honest with us, and it's okay. Do you think the people who built the pyramids and the Sphinx and the ancient Egyptians were black folk?
I think they were people of color. I'm hesitant to use the word black, which is why I'm asking you, is the word black
Okay.
too, like, is that an issue to describe
Okay.
them as
Let me
such?
let me change up because I got to get where you come from because you kind of being a little slippery. Would you consider them Negroids?
Yeah, I don't use those words for them. No.
I'm just help. Do me a favor.
I'll tell you where I'm coming
Hey,
from. I tell you.
hold on, Jeffrey. Just we're trying to be. Just do me a favor, just for today.
I'm sorry, it cut out a little bit. Can you restate it?
Okay. Are they people who look like me? This is why it's hard having this conversation because people are going to deny black. They don't know what black is no more. They don't know what Negroid is. So it keeps me confused. I'm just trying to get where you come
I'll
from.
just
Do
tell
they,
you
do they look
what
like
my
me?
angle
Do they
is.
look like me?
Even that is a question I'm hesitant to answer because they can look all type of ways. Hold on, Chief X. I'll tell you where I'm coming from, and Ngozi ain't gonna disagree with me at all because if it's about how they look, they can look all type of ways phenotypically, and their genetics might tell a different story. The reason I'm asking this question is because the whole black and colorism thing, I feel like that also muddied the waters. That also messed people up when they approach ancient people. They're taking words like black and stuff like that and retroactively like putting that on ancient populations. So I'm asking you your thoughts on them calling them black. What are your thoughts on that? That's why I'm asking.
What are my thoughts on who calling who what?
What are your thoughts on people describing them as black? Like as far as like
Okay, yeah. I'm against.
interchangeably with people of
I
color.
made the video called "Black Egypt Debunked." I'm talking about black folk who Dr. Ben wrote the book about the black
So,
man of the Nile. I'm
so
talking about black folk who look like the people in the cotton fields of America. I'm talking about black folk that look like me, that look like
so
Walona from Good Times. That's who I consider black. Wesley Snipes. You
Oh,
know
so you're
what I'm
talking like a phenotype,
saying? Come
like a
on, man. Come
phenotype.
on. No, I'm very clear. I'm very, very clear all the time.
so can I ask him, Chief X?
Yeah.
So to your answer your question, brother. No, it's not. Well, to answer your question, it would not be muddy in the water with black is a problem because when you talk about the people, were they Congolese, people that look like Patrice Lumumba, people
Oh,
that
so
look like
you mean it phenotypically?
yeah.
That's what
So
y'all
yeah,
mean when y'all
yes,
say
yeah,
black.
yeah. Phenotypic, not skin. Skin variance is different. What we
I
saying
got you.
is people that morphologically looks like Congolese, Patrice Lumumba, Nilotic, those type of people, people that look like typical African American or Afro Caribbeans,
I
those
got you.
looks. They were
The
not.
reason I asked y'all that because I have a problem with us being described as black, as South-Saharan people in the lower Sahara, us West African. I don't like being described as black. We the only people get stuck with that word, but these other people are people of color. and it's a problem for them to be described as such.
No,
So
no,
why is it good for us to be described that way?
we call white folk white. It's just a description. It's just like if it like it's like somebody shot up a school and shot up a school right now. Everybody want to know, was he white or black? So for description purposes and satisfy our curiosity, they say it was a black American. Then people say, "Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about." The same people that when the Nation of Islam said the black man is God, we talking about them people.
Okay, so I just say y'all take it as a phenotypical designation. All right, that's different than how I would use it, but I understand.
I'm
Thank
talking
y'all.
about African Americans, Jamaicans, people from West and Central Africa, black folk.
All right, I ain't gonna belabor the point. If somebody else want to talk, I don't want to keep
Okay.
y'all talking in circles. But thank y'all, both of y'all.
Chef Ring, Fetty, y'all welcome to come on up. Where's Biblical DNA if he's still listening? Come on up. Hit that link. Did you want to add something else? You got another question, Jeffrey 93?
I guess at this juncture, because both of y'all have been dealing with Afrocentrists for a long time, do y'all see this ending, or do y'all see this being perpetual? Do you think this is ever going to be a point where they get it that they are people of color, but they're not our people, or do you think our people are just going to keep doing the same thing, painting everybody as their people?
It's going to get worse because now we're at a point where a lot of people like us are becoming culture vultures. We're still in Native American identity. We're still in Aboriginal identity. We're still in Hebrew Israelite identity. So the thing is it's going to it's making more and more people get agitated by us. Not to mention, this new culture wave that goes on amongst us, that people, the stereotypes of the other stuff. And me and you talk plenty of times, the new YN culture and different things. It's not making us look on a larger scale, because this doesn't represent all of us. I want to just say this, but I'm talking about for those that's in social media. It's making us look like we're uneducated and ignorant people. It came to a point so bad that the Egyptians didn't even want Black Americans or any Black of the diaspora, or even some West Africans, to go there for tourism, because they believe that people were trying to steal their identity. It shouldn't get like that, because you go to the wrong place, the wrong person see you because somebody else did something wrong, is going to be issues. So it's a lot of controversy that's coming with this, and it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Hell, I just seen a dude say online that the original Vikings was black.
Oh
They
damn.
they misread information because an article will say something like dark skin, and they misread that, and they think dark skin is equivalent to being a nigga, or of being, and I'm just saying that based off of the way we speak, in an urban sense when we say that term. But they think that when they see terms like that, it equates to them, and it's putting out more and more and more misinformation, bro, and it's becoming more and more dangerous every day.
Okay.
And to add to that, also, like these young folk on social media, TikTok is rabid pushing pseudo history. Instagram is rabid pushing pseudo history. So these young folk, I always say black folk don't care about no history, no way. Only time they care about history if they've been glorified in history. But when you get into the particulars, they don't give a shit about that. These kids ain't trying to read that. So more and more kids are being brainwashed with revised history all on these social media apps, and it's gonna get fucking worse. You know what I mean?
Well, last question before I go, because I don't want to hog your time. Again, thanks for having me. What is a better descriptor for our people instead of black? Because color of my skin is definitely ain't black.
I think that for me, I just go off African American. I call us FAA, Foundational African Americans, because we are the descendants of Western Central Africans that built this country. And hell, a lot of our ancestors, since America is 247 years old, in the sense of when you understand the age of it. So we have been here much longer than a lot of later European immigrants. I'm talking about in the sense of the inception of the America that we know. A lot of your ancestors, or my ancestors, been here longer than Trump German ancestors, right? So what I'm saying is that we are fully American, but as a subset within this country, we're African Americans. I mean, but we're just not that. We're the foundational African Americans, because we're the foundational population that descend from kidnapped groups from Western Central Africa that was responsible for putting a hand here, whether it was through free labor or whatever. So that's part of American history. Out of there, our subset, foundational African Americans, or AKA just regular African American. If you want to call yourself that black word, that's fine. But African American is fine with me.
I don't have a problem with African American or Black American. I use them interchangeably. I'm not ashamed. You know what I mean? When I hear Black, I don't have a problem with it. I don't know why other people do, but it's okay. So I don't have a problem with either one, because at some point you got to settle on something and stop. We got to stop being wishy washy. Everybody can't have 20 different goddamn titles and shit. So that sometimes you got to just keep things plain. You know what I mean?
And and to be-
And
and
keep
to
it
be
simple.
Yeah,
And to
but
be
don't
honest,
nobody they don't like it. Oh, good.
I was going to add on what Chief X said. And either way, if you got an American passport, if I was to go to Ghana or Sierra Leone or anywhere else, or even the UK, when you go to these other places and nations, they see you as American. So it's like when you're American, they see you as that. They don't get into when they look at your passport, they see who you is. They're going to see you as American. Yes, when you go to West Africa, you're going to see people that look like you there because you descend from those people at a larger chunk of your DNA. Some people range from 80% to 70% to 60% so-called sub-Saharan. But here's the thing. But you also have a nationality, and your nationality is American. So when you go to any of these places, whether you're in China, like for example, if I went to China, I may have a lot more in common with a so-called white American than I would with a Yoruba. That Yoruba brother may have more in common with somebody from the UK than he would with me, because a lot of Nigerians or Yoruba people have a lot of contact with the UK. They get educated in the UK. Me and a white boy from Texas or Alabama, we might have a lot more in common than a white boy from the UK. You get what I'm trying to say? So when you go out of these places, you'll see that on a broader scale.
Jeffrey 93.
Yeah,
Do you believe in DNA science?
I acknowledge it. Yeah, yes,
You acknowledge it as being correct.
I acknowledge it as a real thing. Yeah, it's better than looking at somebody's face and saying, "Hey, that's my brother" because he got a big lips or a curly hair. Yeah, DNA for the win.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
The,
Um,
the biblical DNA, is he coming or anybody else in the chat?
I'm not sure what biblical then. Hold on. Let me You can say something. I'm gonna make a phone call.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
yeah. I don't know if y'all brought up the Fellahin, but I was just looking at them earlier. Them and the Saidis, the Upper
Yeah,
Egyptians.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
in
Those, yeah.
northern Egypt, but they call it lower.
Yeah, the
So
Fellahin,
those,
the
yeah,
Fellahin, they are Egyptians. The modern day Coptic who maintain a lot of the Egyptian identity are Egyptians. The people of Minyan, the Saadis, um, all those people are Egyptians. All of them. Even the minority that's Nubian Egyptians. Some of them don't like to be excluded out. But even them,
yeah, they
those
include them
people.
too.
Yeah, even those people are, even if they're dark, they're not genetically close to West and Central Africans. That's why I don't want to get caught up in skin, because a
No,
lot of
but
those people.
that's a testament to how when they say Africa is the most diverse continent on the planet, that's what it means. Because to in today's time, us for some reason we look at skin color and start grabbing people, but that's not how it worked in Africa. Because we're here because people with similar skin tones fought and sold each other.
That's
So
right.
obviously we wasn't friends based on skin color. You can look at the Fellahin and be like, oh, okay, I see they have admixture. They just got brown skin. So I think a lot of Americans are taking the history
But
here
see,
and retroactively applying it to the past.
what happens in America? America is based off race, and race is
Hold,
a social
hold,
construct. It's a
hold on
social.
one. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna shoot you down for a minute, Jeffrey, because some people are trying to come on. I don't know why I can't see these profiles. Hold on 1 second.
All right, peace, y'all.
All
Okay.
right, peace, bro. Peace.
Some people are here. Hold on. Oops. I'm sorry, Joel. Hold on. It's about 3, 4 people in here. Because this banner's blocking you. Let me figure out how to bring everybody on. There we go. Oh shit, I'm so sorry. How
Oh,
long
no,
y'all
you
been
need to
waiting?
do me dirty. It's all good. I'll come in peace too.
I didn't see y'all down there.
Come on, man.
So
Peace
Joel's
and
here.
Ngozi. Peace, Chief X.
Can
What's
you
up?
hear us?
Peace.
Can you hear us too, Biblical DNA? His profile there. Can you see it? Can you take yourself off mute? We can't hear you, Biblical DNA.
Oh, peace.
Okay, there you go. There we go. Okay. Real quick, we're gonna let Joe get his little thing in, and
All right.
and mind you, audience, that is my cash app there. Feel free to shoot me $1, $5, $10, whatever your heart desires. Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead,
make sure
Joe.
y'all hit him with $100. He's gonna have to break me off a little something a little later. So, hey, I come in peace though. So check it out. I don't know a whole lot about this stuff, right? So most of my knowledge is just from reading, and most of the stuff I understand is from the migration standpoint. Y'all start talking about the DNA and all that. Y'all over my head, and Ngozi start running off these letters and numbers. My eyes get crossed. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what that was, but okay. If I'm an E1B1A, I got it. So look, that article that came out on the guy that they found, how you say that? New way rat? Neural rat. I thought that was I thought that information that was in there was really good. I thought it cleared a lot of stuff up. So I'm gonna throw out there what I got from it. Unc and I, we did some reading of it, and I kind of arrived at some things. Unc, of course, he gonna pick up some stuff different from me because he more, he's more in tune with the language and all the stuff. But I just wanted to throw out there what I got that affects the narratives that I've been hearing on YouTube and in our community. Right? So just give me a couple of minutes. I'm going to throw it out there, and then anything that you hear that I'm messing up or I got it wrong, just clear it up for me. All right?
And before you go, Joe, are you subscribed to my YouTube?
I don't think so.
Okay, so in other words, since you're not, basically your narrative of me is what Ankh has said of me. So you have a bad narrative.
No.
No, no, you have, listen, in this community, I follow everybody's channel and their YouTube videos and their presentations so I can know where they're coming from. If you don't watch my presentations or haven't watched them, then you're going to follow what my enemy may say about me and believe what they said.
Okay.
If they say I'm crazy 100 times, then in your mind, you're going to begin to think Chief X is crazy.
I don't want to fight Chief X.
No, I know. I'm just trying. I'm just giving you. No.
Listen,
I understand.
I watch plenty of your videos. You asked me if I'm subscribed.
Okay, so do you get notifications when when I go live? Do you get notifications?
I'm not subscribed, so I don't catch all your videos.
Okay, one more question. Let me
say this to you.
One more question.
I watched a ton of your videos, Chief X.
Can you name one?
If you ask me to clarify what you think, I think I can do it. That's how much of your videos I've watched.
Okay, well, don't worry about it. Go ahead and say what you're going to say originally.
All right. So, in reading that article, I hear a lot. I hear one side saying that this population came from the West Asians or Beijing Asians. I hear people saying that stuff. I'm like, huh? Then you got the other group that says, well, they come from the South. Come from the South. And so they try to, I guess, match them with Sudan, with the people of Sudan, I guess. I don't know.
So you mean Afrocentric side.
All right. And I think that article destroys both of them narratives. It just kills it. That article, what I get from that article saying that their genetics is in that population up in North Africa. And yes, they have people, they've got cultural connection with people across from the Fertile Crescent. Fine. They do. They've been having that for the longest time. That's what we've been saying on the serial killers like forever. Is that this is a place of confluence. Everybody trying to get up into the Nile area. What the heck? Come from all over the place. They mixed, heavily mixed, right? And so I feel like that article is straightening out both of those. Anybody who says that, oh, these people come from over here, from Eurasians, you're wrong. Anybody who comes in and says they come from way down here in the South, you're wrong. And anybody who tries to say, oh, well, they don't have dark skin, you're wrong. Because that's what the article said. Now, we've always said over at the Pseudo Killers that they ranged in skin tone. We've been pushing that for the longest time, trying to get people to stop fighting. Why are you trying to make them?
So you said if they say dark, what does that mean to you?
Look at me. I'm dark.
Okay, see what I'm saying, Ngozi?
I am dark.
They got him in the trick bag. When he hears dark, he think they talking about black.
No, I'm not black. I'm not black.
Said,
and as a matter of fact, in that article, it said that he had dark eyes, dark hair,
brown
hair, dark to black skin. And when I use the term black, because I don't use the term black around folks, because most folks don't even know what I'm talking about. So, but if I was to use it along with that article, it's talking about somebody who has a high level of melanin in their skin. It ain't got nothing to do with an African American or somebody from the west coast of Africa. It's not a phenotype. It's talking about somebody having a richly pigmented skin. He's dark skin. He's really, really dark. That's what it means.
Am I dark?
Yeah, you dark.
Well, there's Egyptians darker than me. Does that mean they're black?
They're not black. They're not black. They're dark skin.
So this is the
said in that article, dark to black.
So this is what's going on with the community. We mix. See, skin tone, like this is why I don't like to play the skin game, because again, as a descriptive term in America, this is what I was trying to say earlier. America is based off race. It's based off what you look like. It's a lookership system, right? The idea of race, and we know race is a social construct. We're not going to talk about that, but based off a descriptive term, they know black from black, and they know, like, for example, an Indian from 7-Eleven, he can have more darkly pigment than me, but when you look at him, right, you can tell that he's not. You know that he's not a man of so-called sub-Saharan descent or a Congolese person. You look at me, you can tell, like, oh, this dude got some ancestry from Cameroon or Nigeria. You can see it, regardless to me having admixture, because I am admixed. But you do see phenotypically, I have reminder traits that matches with Congolese, right? So what I'm saying is, when you look at these Egyptians, it's a difference between morphology and skin. To this day, you have Upper Egyptians, like Saadi people, and even some places in North Africa, and I'm sorry, in the northern portion of Egypt, you know, you go towards Cairo, you find little sprinkles of people sometimes with dark skin. You got Coptics that's dark, but when you look at them morphologically, their skull type, phenotypically, morphologically, the cranial metrics does not fall in line with population groups that we mainly descend from. So people get it; they tend to confuse dark skin. Now a pseudo mind or unscientific mind to say, yeah, that's a black man. But then when you're in America, when you see a man at 7-Eleven, like, for example, if they took this guy right here, right? They took this guy right here and he was alive, and I walk next to him, they're probably going to call him an Arab, and they're going to call me a black man. They're going to say that's an Arab, even though he probably look more closer to people in Yemen or Socotra in that sense than he would to an African American. They'll be able to still tell morphologically from our skull types that we are different. See what I'm saying?
Well, look, that's the reason why you and Chief X should cut out the Negroid and the Caucasoid and the black and all that stuff. Maybe y'all should cut it out.
I'm gonna tell you why.
If you can see where there's a problem, maybe you should stop.
I'm gonna tell you why I won't cut it out.
Okay.
Because it leaves everything.
You won't play games with people.
No. Because I'm not. Listen to something. You have to. I'm not trying to play games. I'm using different terminology that we've always been called as African Americans.
But it's confusing.
No. It is not confusing to nobody. My daughters, my grandbabies know exactly what a black American is. They know a black American came on a slave ship to the Americas from Western Central Africa and was slaves in America. They know a black person was everybody in them cotton fields, picking cotton. No one is confused. This is simple. So I will continue to use these words because I'm not going to let you guys make everything ambiguous till we're all confused and don't know who is who because we playing a color scheme game and somebody dark, or a dark Samoan, it may be darker than me, and then you can call that dark person black because this is a mind game. Biblical DNA, Go ahead and say whatever you want, share whatever
You're,
information you
you're a
want.
trip, Chief X.
Go as long that's the real talk. Man, I don't have time. You guys are playing games. I'm specific. Biblical DNA, go ahead.
If you can't catch what I'm saying, man, go
I
ahead.
get what you're saying. I've been arguing with Moors forever because they scared to use the word black. I understand all this. I understand why Ankh stop saying black and act like it. I understand all that to muddy the waters. Niggas know exactly who a black man is. Nobody had a problem when they said black man of the Nile. Nobody lifted a finger to say, who's a black man of the Nile? Who Dr. Ben talking about? They only started doing this shit when Black Egypt debunk came. So they tried to save face. We can't hear you, Biblical DNA. Do I have you on?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Can you please share my slide, or can you pull up the whole genome of the ancient Egyptian or all kingdom?
Okay, present. I guess I got to trying to figure out.
If not, you can just pull up the article and I can show you where to scroll at.
The article we was going over?
Oh yeah, because Joel was with Ankh when Ankh decided to insult me and run my name through the mud, right? And he just said that they're showing no proof that these people coming from the Levant, from West Asia. And that's not what the paper said. In fact, if Ankh and Joel would have read the paper, it's saying that these people did migrate from West Asia into the North Africa. Yes, it did. You don't know what North African Neolithic is. What is North African Neolithic, Joel? Hey, Street Sufi and Ngozi, can you please tell this gentleman, Joel, what North African Neolithic is? What is the component of his admixture, please, sir?
Natufian, pre-Paleo Neolithic groups of the Levant.
And what else, Ngozi?
Could you hear me?
Yep. And what else?
Sorry, Chef, I didn't see you down there. I got some.
Hey, could you guys hear me? Pre-Paleo Neolithic, Natufian.
Yes, and what else though? Like what's the Levant pre-Pottery Neolithic be? Can you please explain to Joel, since he thinks it's a joke, he thinks it's community. This is what's problem with this community.
Answer that man. And go
So the pre-Paleo Neolithic B culture is mainly Natufian and some Anatolian before the Bronze Age. Go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So Chief X, can we please bring up the article?
One of the articles we had today?
Yes, sir. It's the whole genome, please.
I don't know. You might not want to do that.
Yeah, I might want to do that because you didn't read the damn research.
Okay.
Biblical DNA don't play. Let me get it out.
All right.
Hey, hold on. What's up with everybody?
What's up, Chef? B-Mall in the building. What it do?
Yeah, see, I came up here especially for you, Joe. All right? I came up here especially for you because we from the same city, damn near the same neighborhood. More than likely, we went to the same schools. So every time you open your mouth and say black is confusing, coming from Baltimore City, going to Baltimore City public schools, I'm trying to figure out who confused you about black.
Let's not get off on that. We're gonna do that later.
You said it's confusing.
Let's do that later. You go mess up biblical DNA.
But you know exactly what black is. We got the same education. I'm trying to figure out, when did you become confused?
I'm not confused, man. The problem is that
you know exactly what Chief X and Ngozi and them is saying.
Don't bum rush, Chef. You said your part. Let me say my point.
Go ahead.
The reason why black is confusing is because people use it for all kinds of stuff. If we pull up somebody from the Adamese Islands or the daggone Aborigine in Australia, or some of them people down there in them islands down in the Americas that's real dark, people gonna say they black. And if I say, oh really? Okay, where they come from? They gonna say they black. They from Africa. That's
the
problem.
Listen,
and if
they
you
don't
can't
have
see,
to. They don't have to say
that's
Africa.
the problem, Chef. You got.
Oh, hold on. That's like if somebody with East Asian phenotype, right? We'll all call them Chinese, right?
That's an issue.
Yeah, that's an issue. But it's still you're still acknowledging that phenotype. You feel me? You're still acknowledging that phenotype. Ain't nobody confused about that.
What y'all think?
Ain't nobody confused about that. So when somebody say black, right, and you talking about those Adamese Island people, yeah, they would be considered black phenotypically. You get what they saying, Joel? Stop it.
Okay. All
right.
right.
Y'all can go ahead. Y'all can go ahead.
All righty.
Let me see if I add somebody. Does that kick someone off? Let me see.
No, you didn't. Hey, Chef from Baltimore with love. You kicked Chef out. Let him go.
See, hold on.
All right, let biblical DNA go.
No, hold on. Where's Chef? Let me get him back.
Hey, Chief X, if you want me to jump off, you can let biblical DNA get on. I'm just listening.
Wait, where's Chef at?
I think you accidentally knocked him off. Chef, get back on. I'm gonna slide down. I'm gonna let biblical DNA show the sources of what he got.
You have 4 people up here at a time.
Is Chef still in the chat?
But in Ngozi, I don't want you to leave because he's going to bring up this article.
Oh, go ahead.
Biblical DNA, want me to pull up the article?
Yes, please.
Which one? The Sahara one or the
genome? Come on now. He just made a statement. It has to be refuted. Let's scroll all the way down. We're going to scroll all the way down.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We're going to scroll all the way down. I'll tell you when to stop all the way down. I mean, since they didn't read none of this, so none of this matters to them anyways.
Keep going.
Yes, sir. You're gonna scroll all the way down. We're gonna see what the admixture of this individual was. And notice how I say individual, right? We can stop right there. Let's go up a little bit. Where do you see this individual clustering with, Joel? Can you understand these little dots, these colors right here?
I can't see it, but they cluster. I know they cluster with the people in North Africa.
Oh, do you see that blue, that light blue? Can you please read it right there where it says that light blue? Can you put there you go, up, there you go, right there. What does that say right there?
That says West Asia.
Thank you, sir. Can you also see that black on top of it? What does that state?
Caucasus.
Okay, and what about the red?
Europe.
Okay. So we see this individual. Can you also go to the right, Chief X, please, sir?
So why you
wait? No, hold on. Please stop. Okay. Let me see.
Joe, chill out.
Check it. Scroll up a little bit. There we go. Now we cooking. Where do you see? You see the red dot, right, Joel?
Yeah, the one that says NUE001.
What is? Yes, sir. And so you see these orange triangles to the left of it.
Yeah.
Says what? Levant Neolithic, correct?
Levant Paleolithic.
Yeah. Okay.
Or Levant Bronze.
No, it's Neolithic. It's Levant Neolithic. You had it. It was right on the.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, Levant Neolithic. Okay.
What about those little dots to right there, right beside it, to the right of it? There's some of them are pink.
Scattered all the way out.
And some of them are purple.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that purple?
Arabian Peninsula.
Okay. Cool.
Or Northwest Africa.
There we go. Northeast Africa. Northwest Africa. Now we understand it, right? We understand. So what are these admixtures? Where did their ancestry come from?
That's the point that I was making.
Just say you don't know. Say you don't know so he can finish.
Can we scroll all the way down, Chief X? All the way. We're gonna go all the way down.
Let me just tell you what I think I understand, dude.
Are you going to?
Let him teach you.
Yeah,
All right,
Chief,
go ahead
go
and
all
teach.
the way
I
down.
don't
Go,
know.
all,
You
go
already
all the
admitted
way
you don't know
down.
this.
Go all the way down, Chief X. We're gonna go all the way down, like all the way down. Keep going all the way down. No, it's okay, Joel. I understand y'all didn't do it on your live, but Chief X, he's doing it on his live.
I know, but at least Chief actually let me talk. I mean,
No, if you don't understand this, you got to be taught and learn. We're not trying.
so I
Nobody's trying to
can't
trick
just
you.
say what I understand.
You admitted you didn't know nothing about this.
Yeah,
Keep
I don't
going.
remember. That's true.
Right here, down.
Now keep going, Chief X. Keep going all the way down. We're gonna go all the way down. It's gonna be past. Yeah, we're gonna go all
We're
the way
going
down.
down south, huh?
Down south. We going past the. We can read the conclusion for you too, Joel. We got you.
We read the conclusion, man.
No, you did not.
The conclusion don't agree with you.
The conclusion 100% agrees with me. My whole PowerPoint agrees with me because I got it from the damn article, Joel. I got everything from the article.
Check it out, the biblical DNA. Can I repeat something that I heard you say? You might have maybe you said it a little different than what you really meant.
Wait,
Can
let me find this first.
Keep going down. Keep going down, Chief X, please, sir. Keep going down.
A biblical DNA. Can I repeat something you said? I want to repeat what you said that threw me off.
What's good?
You get into sources now.
Yep, keep going down.
Oh man.
Well, you know what? We're gonna find this, but you don't have to, because Joel's not gonna understand this no way. So
no, it's we need to pull it up because he said something and he needs to freaking correct himself. He needs to say, I didn't know what I was talking about. I was wrong.
Okay, these are sources. Keep going.
No, he's gonna keep going down. I'm telling you, Chief X, keep going down. Keep going down. There we go. Now we get into it. Let's keep going down. Keep going down. He didn't go through all of this. Keep going down. All the way down. We're going to keep going down. That's it?
Yeah, that's the end.
No, it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to show. Oh, I got you.
Well, just go off the head. Just let him know.
A biblical DNA.
No, I want you to show it. I want you to show it though. I'm gonna tell you which page is on.
I got a question for you though, biblical DNA.
Yeah, as soon as we get this done.
It's a lot to scroll.
Yeah, it should be on page. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna put in the back chat what the Control F so you can be able to find it, Chief X.
Okay.
Because I don't know. That's why I wanted the control so I can just go straight to it for you.
Where's Sheffrin? He left off. Okay, you go. Okay, we're all on here. But
all
go
right.
ahead. Go ahead. Just go off on the presentation and what you've been thinking lately.
Check the private chat for me. It's going to be extended data figure 6, distal ancestries in Nahuatl genome and contemporary groups. So if you saw that little link, it said it's extended data figure 6. That's what Joel needs.
Okay, extended data figure 6. Okay, gotcha. Figure 7. Okay, I found that.
There we go. Look out. Hey, Chief X learning on. He's going to be able to teach him now.
Oh, no.
He's going to figure out how to use these tables and whatnot.
Okay, let me present. Okay, I had to reshare my screen. Right here it says extended data figure 6.
Yes, sir. Go ahead and click that off for me. Press it. Yeah, there we go. Scroll down.
Okay.
Oof. There we go. Can we zoom out a little bit, Chief X, please?
Make it bigger?
Zoom out. It's too zoomed in. It's too.
Okay,
we can't see the. We can't see the whole thing.
Okay.
God dang, that thing ain't getting no smaller.
My shit's slow right now.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why it's getting bigger.
Right, that's weird. You can't. I don't know. Dang. Anyways. God dang. All right. Anyways,
There's so many screens. Is there something you want to read here?
Yeah, we can do it slowly for him, right? So what is that brown? Go ahead. We see NUE 001 is the what sample? What sample is that, Joel? What is the NUE 001? We waiting. Can you hear? Okay. What is the? Okay, there we go. And you see that brown, all that brown part of it? What is that looking? Can you read that for us? What that represents, Chief X? There we go. Here we go. You're doing it now. You was doing it. You did something. It got a little bit smaller.
Yeah, it's just freezing on me because I got so many screens open. So it's kind of freezing on me.
So it's largely Levant Neolithic. The green is mainly Moroccan, which is what we were explaining, which is the Moroccan layer, and it's mainly pre-Proto-Neolithic, which is basically post-Natufians.
And what does that mean, Joel? What does that mean their ancestor came from? You muted.
Oh, y'all couldn't hear me? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you weren't saying nothing.
All right, what was your question just now?
Yeah, so what does that brown represent? It says Levant Neolithic, right?
That's exactly what it says.
Yeah, and what exactly admixture did Levant Neolithic carry?
Oh, I don't know that.
Oh man, you know what? That's why knowing sex chromosomes such as the Y DNA and the mtDNA and these different lineages. That's why it matters. That's why me and my brother Ngozi do what we do. That's why we care about admixture, and that's why we care about ancient populations. That's why. Why be so upset about it, bro?
Wait, no.
That's what this paper was all about. Otherwise, they wouldn't have determined that this individual clustered between North Africans and freaking West Asians, like people from West Asia.
All right, let's talk.
Hold, Joel. Can you chill out and hold on? I want to change up biblical DNA because, like, you're new on my channel. A lot of people don't know you. You from Florida, right?
No, you moved the conversation.
No, I'm not. You're off that. All you're gonna do is I already know.
But I got another question for the man.
Okay, fine. What's your answer? Ask some questions.
All right, biblical DNA. Are you insinuating that this area was empty and that people traveled into there from the Levant area? Is that your point?
Can you show me anywhere in my video I ever stated that?
It's a yes or no question.
Who said that? Nobody said that. Exactly. You never see my video because Ankh never played my video. He never watched my whole video because I read the whole article.
I watched one of your whole videos just recently, and
I wonder which one that was.
Can I say what you said? Can I say what you said? Okay, thank you. You said, and you got happy. You said, that's right, y'all. These not Sub-Saharan, these not East Africans, they Basal-Eurasians, they came from West Eurasia. Your words.
Did this sample carry any Sub-Saharan African or any East African? Did the paper state that? Is that my words or did the paper state that?
No, you were correct there. Did they
I'm a correct. Chief X, what did he just say? So is it
did they come from West Eurasia?
The paper said?
Did they come from West Eurasia?
What did
That's what you said.
What
I got
did
you on
Ngozi
tape,
just say?
buddy. Don't try to run
I'm
from
glad
that.
you got it
I
on
got
tape.
you clipped
It's
up,
on
homie.
YouTube, bro. Hey, no problem. It's on YouTube. Didn't freaking Ankh use my video and freaking what? Why are you looking at that? Why are you giving that face? Oh, so it's the
Because
Hold on,
so
yo,
the
yo, yo, hold on,
two
hold on,
different
hold on,
things.
hold on, hold on,
Biblical
Joe,
DNA.
the Teenage Mutant
Joe,
Ninja
can you
Biblical
please
DNA
stop talking
saying two
over
different
me?
things.
Teenage
Chief
Mutant Ninja
He's
Turtles.
saying
Teenage Mutant. Okay, what's going on, Chief X?
Okay, you're new to the audience. I just want them to let you tell them who you are, where you're from. All right, so what's your ethnicity, first of all? Because they want to know.
So I'm mixed. My father was born in Puerto Rico. His ancestry, when I did my DNA, it shows European, North African, Sub-Saharan African, Native American. My mom was from Florida, born and raised. So yeah, I'm mixed though.
You have a lot of
My
black. You have a lot of black friends, huh?
yes, I was raised, and yes, I was. Yeah, I'm just gonna say yes.
I can tell just the way you talk and shit.
Yeah.
Okay, there go Ngozi's Cash App. If somebody want to shoot him something. Um, so what do you think? You got a question for him, Ngozi? What do you think about the Afrocentrics and what's been going on and the new DNA is? Um,
I think that outdated Afrocentricity has to die. I think it had its place, but we're not living in that time. America's going in another direction. It's a lot of stuff going on in the world. A lot of
I
stuff.
knew he was going
And
to
I
do that.
well, go ahead. Go ahead.
no,
Yo.
no, that's Joe. Just Joe running his mouth.
Oh,
Go
my
ahead.
fault. So what I'm saying is, I think that Afrocentricity had its phase, and it's no longer relevant. It had its point, but we also learned as time went on that a lot of things that we were taught was misinformation. Now it's time to elevate and go into another direction. And the way the world is going, we don't have time for that. I mean, the culture, we have to put ourselves in a better bracket when it comes to education. Misinformation won't help us. I mean, it's bad enough globally we're looked at as the entertainment of the world. People laughing, and now we come into a point where African Americans is being misrepresented by saying things like we're the original Native Americans, we're the original Aboriginals, we're the original this, we're the original that, and it makes the world on a larger scale not want to be bothered with us. And then it's at a point even with like FBA, and I'm not knocking them. They purposely pick on immigrants that's from so-called Afro-Caribbean or Western Central Africa, which represents a smaller minority of immigrants that's coming here, and they try to delineate themselves from Africa. And it's nothing wrong if you want to delineate yourself as an American, but to deny your ancestors, it makes the people in Western Central Africa not even want to be bothered because they look at us like, I seen it online. The hell with y'all, So I don't want to be part of the laughing stock. That's not what I'm representing. I'm representing truth. So
Biblical DNA.
Hey,
What you want to share with us?
no, it's just this is the problem, Chief X, with this community. And you can see this comment. So he's white. Is he white? Is Dan white? And Ngozi, do you want to answer this? I mean, because obviously my
are you
response.
are you white? You asking me, are you white? No, you're not white.
So because this people keep on it, like this is the problem though, Chief X, like you were talking about earlier. This is what people are focused on. I clearly mentioned I have mixed ancestry of Native American, North African, Sub-Saharan African, European, even possible West Asian, according to different admixture calculators that I've personally used, and Jewish DNA. But anyways, this is the problem with the community. They only worry about white and black. That's it. They don't worry about people do carry different admixtures. Or oh, you'll be associated. If a law enforcement pulls you over, you are associated like this or that. So what am I associated with?
You'll probably be classified as Latino.
And what that would that be? Because most Latinos are either mixed or they're
Yeah,
pale skin
probably
or they're
mixed.
dark.
Yeah, you'll be mixed, classified
So
as mixed. Yeah, mixed.
And to add on, like I don't know if you like this Chief X channel. I'm not racist like a lot of the other cats at all. Anybody, if you white, Mexican, black, Samoan, Russian, you can come on my channel and have a discussion. Because the information, it's about the information, and we're just trying to get down the truth. I don't give a shit what color somebody is. I'm not a racist. Go ahead, Chef.
Oh yeah, I jumped back on because Joel was making a point with biblical DNA and you stopped it, Chief X.
Did I?
I think that's going to be the main question about the paper. Why did you stop that dialogue from happening?
Or maybe I misunderstood what was going to go down. I don't know.
You got to let Joel finish because Joel might be on to something.
Well, go ahead.
How is he? Wait a minute. How is he on to something when this?
I don't know. Just let him finish. I don't know. It sounded like it was interesting.
Let's go back to the article. Let's go with the research.
Because my computer too slow. I don't want to go back to it. It'd be.
Let's go. I want to hear what Joel was saying. His point.
Yeah.
We can answer Joel off the head.
Hey, Chief, why are you so rough on me, yo?
I'm not rough on you. I'm just.
I ain't even banging on you.
You on some? No, I haven't insulted you one time. You're all in the chat insulting me, calling me crazy, and like I'm being unfair. No, I'm not. But if I'm talking, you can't talk over the host.
My bad.
I'm letting you up. Go ahead and ask your question.
All right. So what I would thanks, Chef, because I did want to try to have that dialogue because, hey, I'm trying to figure it out too. Man, biblical DNA seem to know more than me. So what I wanted to know from you,
seem or does know, seem or does know. Just please correct
you. You do know. No.
Thank you.
That's what I mean. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, get to it, Joe.
You ain't got to try to trump me. That's fine.
No, I'm.
That's cool. That's cool. You definitely know more than me. But I just want to.
Yeah, Chief X said something very interesting earlier. So I'm just saying.
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
In that area where they found this guy. So my question, because I always say, I hear people talking, and they always trying to like make this area like people came to it, and like flip the population, and now there's something different. I feel like that paper says they're North Africans, and that they have some ancestry, some cultural attachment to people from Levant, areas over there, Fertile Crescent, that kind of thing, right? So when I hear people try to characterize these people in Egypt, and they try to say, well, no, they're not Africans. They're not Africans. They come from West Eurasia. I have a problem with that. The paper does not say that.
Who says that he was an Egyptian? Who said that this individual was not born and raised an Egyptian? Who said that?
Nobody. Did you not heard what he said?
I did hear what he just said. I said that. When did I say that he was not born and raised an Egyptian?
What?
Huh?
So Joel, can I ask you?
He didn't say nothing like that. What?
I don't know. I don't know
what the hell he's talking about.
I don't know what his question
say
was.
That.
Yeah, I don't know what he's
basically saying from his understanding, the paper does not say that the people are not African.
Okay,
that's what he's saying.
No, okay, I don't. We nobody on this panel even said somebody was African or not. But what Joel's doing is he's mixing up time periods and acting like the article said just one thing. He's confusing chronology and different points.
So I'm gonna answer this. So the pre-party Neolithic, basically, Brother Chef, at this time, Middle East and North Africa already had strong genetic shared affinity. MENA was already intact. So let's, like, for example, I guess I could try to use this analogy. African Americans, Jamaica is part of North America, but it's not part of the United States. But Jamaica is part of North America. If you look it up on the map, look up countries connected to North America, you'll see that Jamaica is part of North America.
I'm with you.
A large portion of Jamaicans are descent from the same people we descent from, but they are not Americans. We got our own culture that we created here. our subset culture, and they got their culture. But yet and still, we share a lot of genetic shared affinity. Now, at base, this shared affinity happened over here in the diaspora starting at 500 years ago, right? But we went into different places. So here's the thing with these people, I'm going to go back thousands of years. The Natufians and people in these areas have been sharing genetic affinities for the last 23,000 years, way before this guy Nurut was born. So even though he has strong genetic shared affinities with people in the Levant, he's indigenous to his portion of Africa because at this time you're going to it right there for thousands of years. Then before he was born, then when you look at the pre-Neolithic group who picked up DNA, these are post-Natufians who picked up DNA from people from southern Turkey, the same people in southern Turkey that was responsible for Göbekli Tepe. They started to mingle with populations in the Levant, create the pre-Neolithic. Then they started to mingle and move. We're talking about people that's looking for food, looking for places to farm, looking for places to preserve their grains and deal with agriculture. When you go towards the Nile, that's rich soot right there, black soil, good fertilization. People are setting up establishments there. So they're crossing over. They're going through the Sinai. They're sitting on the Sinai for thousands of years, even before the Fahim culture. Before the Fahim culture, they're sitting there. Then they starting to go there. They're becoming Fahim. This is during the time of pre-dynastic. Before pre-dynastic, they're going into dynastic. And they're mingling with populations there. So they're becoming their shared established groups, but they also have deep ancestral shared affinity with populations in the Levant already. So this is what this is saying. So yes, this dude is local, indigenous, Northeast African to this portion of Africa. But when you look at his genetic shared affinity, he's more in line and shared genetic cluster with people in the Middle East. Way more. But he had his own culture and his own style of doing things, just like an African American got his own style of doing things, and the Jamaican got his own style of doing things, or a Haitian got their own style of doing things. But we all share deep genetic ancestry from primarily West and Central Africa. You use us as an example. You get it? Y'all agree?
I get it. I get it, and I agree because what you were saying is that he's there, and that they're intermingling with people outside of themselves. That's cool, but that's not how biblical DNA and Chief X characterize it. They always trying to say folks came from somewhere else and came over there and designed, made up Egypt.
Never said that.
I heard Chief X. I watched your show. You came straight out and said, "Can I repeat you? I repeat it. Biblical DNA. I can repeat you too. I can repeat you."
No, hold on, biblical.
Yeah. They come from a line. They come from a line.
They come from where?
Alam.
What? Say it again.
He said Elam.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I don't
In
know.
Mesopotamia. Who said that?
No, who said that?
He froze up.
See, this is why. See, Joel has never really watched any of my videos. Only thing Joel has watched is what Ankh showed him. I'm telling you, he hasn't. I said they have influences from Mesopotamia and other areas. Go ahead, biblical DNA. You want to say something? Hey, Chef Rain.
What up?
You and biblical DNA cool? Y'all got something you want to hash out?
No, I don't even know the brother. I'm cool.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just saying. I was just stating. I wasn't trying to be mean or anything. I'm just stating. I never said in any of my videos that he wasn't an Egyptian. Never stated. In the paper, it says these people were indigenous, but individuals like Joel doesn't understand what exactly North African indigenous is. They don't understand the migrations these people encountered in different admixtures that occurred that was brought from Western Eurasia. That's the problem. They don't know what these components that these archaeologists use, these geneticists, sequence that the archaeologists use to determine what populations and what admixtures these people carry. They don't understand that part, and there's nothing wrong with that. They just have to learn. They have to do the reading. They have to do the research, and that takes time. It takes time.
Yes, but I do want to say, during the time before the people in the Levant and North Africa was sharing affinity, when you take away that 23,000 years ago, those ancestral North Africans When you separate that, we're close to Takahari. When you go like before the Zuzana back migrated from the Lesser Caucasus, the Takahari type, which was a unique cluster of ancestral North Africans, their own, they were already that before you even have an Ibero-Maurutian. Now, when we go toward this now, you start studying things like the Halfling culture, the Kubanian groups. You're looking at populations that have its own layer that's already there. Some of that stuff, we already talked about this. You also find in some phases of time, this paternal marker, going backwards and forth because that integrates into the Levant at a certain time period, way before the Tupians was born. So these people have been going backwards and forth. But again, I don't believe E developed in sub-Saharan Africa for people that's listening. I believe that haplogroup EM96 developed in North Africa at a specific time. So these dudes was going in and out for a very long time, sharing affinities with people, even before the 23,000 year mark that's postulated, because they could have been going back and forth before that, you know.
Hey, Chef, whenever you get time, I was going through the Serial Killers channel, and I went to the very first video, parts of it I played, called Facebook Group Against Chief X. You need to watch that shit over. It's some Jews up in there, and you was on it.
Did you post it in the Discord?
No, I will. Oh, yeah, I will post it in Discord.
I wanted to say this though, guys. The dark skin, when they could describe them as dark and black, that's not equivalent to a group of people that's descendants of Yoruba, Igbos, or Dinka. You have people that live in Upper Egypt that's dark skinned. And some people, not all, but some people like to play like dark skin makes you sub-Saharan. I have seen North Africans who've seen certain people that were dark, and they'll say that's because they come from the trans-Saharan slave trade. That's why they got that dark skin. No, dark skin would have lingered in upper zones. If that doesn't mean they're sub-Saharan. So I don't play that game that dark skin only makes you sub-Saharan, even though that's not the majority of the population skin color. But when you see people with dark, especially if you're wearing less clothes and you're exposed to ultraviolet rays, if hell, even an olive skin complected Italian, if he lived 3,000 years ago and he's exposed to ultraviolet rays and he wear less clothes, you're not gonna see a man that look like somebody like they from Scotland and ultraviolet high zones. That don't even make sense.
Right.
So it's crazy, man.
And Sicilians are like that. Sicilians are very dark, but then you go to North Italy, they're very like pale, lighter skin.
What made you get into DNA science?
Yes.
DNA.
So back in 2000,
because people think you're not religious because that biblical's there. Are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not religious.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
So back in 2014, 15, I think it was one of those years. I did my autosomal. I did my admixture with Ancestry.com, and I wanted to see what I was mixed with. You know, from people that coming from Puerto Rico or from different locations, they say, you know, we have this admixture of Native American, Spanish, and African, right? So I wanted to see for myself. So I had an interest in doing it, and I took it, and I found out, yes, I had those admixtures. And so when I got out the Army, I had to decide on what degree I wanted and stuff like that. And, you know, I was starting to read more, you know, being in college. And so I started getting into the, you know, these type of papers, the archaeology papers, anthropology papers. And so I started understanding the admixtures, the Y-DNA, the mtDNA. And then in 2020, I think it was 22. I think, yeah, it was 2022. I really started, and Ngozi can attest to this. I started using the admixtures. I started using the calculators and seeing the different admixtures with the admix tools and whatnot. And so when it comes to the Bible, right? So I'm not religious, like I just stated, but majority of Americans are religious, Christians usually, right? And so from being with somebody at my ethnicity, my father's a Puerto Rican, right? A lot of groups, you know, claim, you know, Israelite Jews and stuff like that. So Mormons believe a lot of Hispanics are Israelites. The One West camps, the Hebrew Israelites, they believe Ephraim is from Puerto Rico, tribe of Ephraim, Puerto Rico. So I had to learn all of this stuff, you know, because when you meet these cats on the streets, when people don't know nothing about the Bible, they won't be able to speak to them. You see what I'm saying? So I would decide, hey, I'm gonna learn the Bible. I want to learn everything about the Bible, like the chronology of the Bible, where these people are claimed to come from the mountains of Ararat, and the whole stories and whatnot. Then I just, learn as much as possible from the Bible. But no, I'm not religious.
Chef Running Ngozi said something to me. I never it didn't hit me, but I said, yeah, that's true. And Ngozi said the religions he's talking about Christianity is a Mediterranean religion.
That's funny. I mean, it's not wrong. I mean, it's Eastern
It is.
Mediterranean. Eastern Mediterranean.
What you say, Chef?
No, yeah, he absolutely right.
I'm like,
You did what do you call it? The Abrahamic faiths, right? All three of them, had a lot of Mediterranean influence. You know what I mean? All of them claim the same descent,
I'm gonna
right?
be. Yes. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest. Go ahead, Chef. I cut you.
No, yeah, all of them claim the same descent and have the same origin story.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
descendant from Abraham. So
yeah.
once you do that, the Jews claim that Abraham come from Mesopotamia. You dig what I'm saying? So all of that, yeah, has the same origin.
Yeah, and according to them, Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, for those that believe in him or whatever, there's some people say he came from in between Iraq or near Iran or southern Turkey, depending on who's talking. Either way, he come from that eastern Mesopotamian zone, and then he goes into the land of Canaan and meets Mount Chezedek and all the others. The stories that they give you. But the bottom line, the story is highly influenced by Eastern Mediterranean stories. And then when you go further in time and you start studying ancient Mesopotamia and their older myths or folklore, you can see that a lot of the narrative that we have in Torah and belief come from older, Mesopotamian texts.
Babylonian stories, yeah.
Babylonian stories. And, then you go further back in time, you learn that the Mediterranean world was very inspirational. I mean, the Mediterranean gave the world Rome, Greece. It gave the capital bases of Egypt. It gave the capital bases of Morocco when the Moors conquered Spain in 711 AD. The Phoenicians in Carthage. Yeah, all that. These people were very influential, regardless of them having these. This is the bark. The Mediterranean world is where people all merged, mixed, traded, and did all types of stuff. But this world, even the Nordic Europeans, was inspired by the Mediterranean world. The Romans insulted the Nordic groups, the people that painted themselves blue, with the Vikings and different groups. So the Mediterranean world was always an influential place. I'm talking about on both sides, from the northern African side to the southern European side to the Levant side, the eastern Mediterranean, all the way to Turkey. This place was booming,
Thanks. Joe back.
All right, so we all agree that this study on this guy, this guy is just an African, right, with some admixture. We all agree, right?
He's an Egyptian, yes, an Egyptian.
Yes.
Right, he's an African, right?
Yeah, he's African. He's North African. Yes.
Okay. He African, right? Right, biblical DNA.
He's North African.
Yep, he's a Northeast Egyptian, African Egyptian. I don't play these games, man. Don't play these fucking games with me, man. I know the games you're playing. I'm not the one.
All right, man. Don't get upset with me. I'm just trying.
It's not because you don't know admixture. Like I just explained to Chief X, I've done my DNA. I know that I have North African DNA and I have Sub-Saharan African DNA. They're completely two different components. They're two different ancestries. We all share different admixtures, different diversities. So don't play with me. I understand what you're saying, but yeah, you're trying to make it seem, oh, Africans are just Africans, non-Africans. That don't mean you're not African. I don't play that game.
All right. Well, all right. I got y'all. We all agree that he's a. We all agree he's African up north. So I'm good.
Hey, Joe, is this what you're at? I'm trying to figure out. Are you asking him? All right. That the North Africans, right? Biblical DNA and Ngozi, are y'all saying that North Africans are basically like the admixture. Y'all keep talking about the admixture. So do y'all believe? Are y'all saying that the admixture is the biggest component, meaning that there was not a already indigenous African population that the Western Eurasians and them came back and
So,
mixed with?
so
Good stuff, Chef.
yes. I explain. I tried to follow the chronology and the timeline.
Mhm.
So if you go back 50,000 years into that portion of the continent, those people were mainly Takahori type. The populations that drifted from early ancestral East Africans drifted up north and became their own and became that Takahori type. These are Assyrian people, late Assyrian people.
So that's the base
That's
population.
the base, the Takahori type. They're distinct. They are distinct from the
I'm
populations.
with you.
They're distinct from the populations that they drift from. They have their own
Okay.
cluster. They have their own. They're distinct. Now, around 30,000 to 23,000 years ago, people came back into the continent. These people were, Zuzana like or West Eurasians, right? They come back in and they filtered and they kind of filter them out. There's a lot of sexual selection going on. This is where mtDNA come from, U6 and all this. And we don't know for sure if mtDNA I don't want to get into that, basal N, they could have been mingling with people if it wasn't directly in Africa, but greater Africa in the sense of expansion between the Levant and Arabia. If mtDNA who diverged from mtDNA and I'm going to say this publicly, I don't even believe L3 came from East Africa. I believe that mtDNA L3 developed in North Africa from the Middle Stone Age, and mtDNA L3 developed, and then after that, you start to find mtDNA N and M and all that start to split off because they finding out now that humans left out of Africa 89,000 years ago through the Sinai. And if they left out of Africa 89,000 years ago through the Sinai, mtDNA N did not exist yet. So that means that mtDNA L3 was already lingering around. Just not to mention, in the Christian Nubian samples, one of those women had a unique cluster of L3 that's kind of like a close to a basal branch, which shows that mtDNA L3 probably didn't develop in East Africa like people say, because she's the mother of most of non-African populations, just like CTM168 is the father of most of non-African populations of what became non-African. So what I'm saying is, to answer your question, yes, the Tokahori branch is indigenous to North Africa, but those people came in a long time ago. Not to mention these early Eurasians drifted from ancestral North Africans. So in genetics, they wouldn't have been that far. So they would have started to mix. So there's a lot of convergence or parallel shifts occurring, and they're starting to shift more towards that area anyway. So when it comes to Natufians in this zone, it's really hard because how many miles is Israel from Egypt? To say where something started from is a problem because a lot of these genetic drifts start to center and start at drift base in Egypt and the Levant anyway. You get what I'm trying to say?
Mhm.
So
What about you, biblical DNA?
Well, what's the question?
Are you saying that the North African population was basically just a transplant from Western Eurasia,
I mean, it's exact.
or do they represent an admixed group of indigenous North Africans and with an intermixture of Eurasians?
I mean, it's exactly what Ngozi said. He was spot on. I don't disagree with anything he said.
Okay.
I mean, the only thing is like, it's hard. We can only speculate at specific locations of where these like mtDNA where they originate from, the L, like he said, because it's so hard for sub-Saharan African samples, bones and stuff like that to be well preserved because of the climate and whatnot. So, and same thing with North Africa too. It's the same there, but in the Green Sahara, I mean, it probably would have been better. I would say, when you say Ngozi, it would have been better maybe in the Green Sahara, but now it's like it's very hard, I guess.
I mean, in the wet phase of the Sahara, I don't know how much would have been preserved there. Climate has to be very, it got to be balanced in order for them to sequence DNA properly. Even in hot, dry areas, like you just said, that's why it's the problem with these Egyptian mummies. It's hard for them to properly sequence them fully because of the hot, dry climates. And in tropical areas, things they're not preserved good. But I'll use another example. India has a unique genetic signature, right? We're not going to say that the Indians and the Chinese are not Asians when they both exist on the continent of Asia, but genetically they're far off from one another, like very far.
Thank
And
you.
in India, in some layers of their DNA, have more ties with ancient Russians than the Chinese do. Yet and still, we don't tell an Indian because he has some layers in his DNA genetically tied to Yamnaya somewhere that he's not Asian anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Very
So
good.
that's a problem. That's all.
Yeah. So, like, for instance, like to me, um, 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 people on the continent don't never say I'm an indigenous African. It's so ambiguous. Even though they may be, they don't. People don't talk like that. So if a Moroccan's indigenous African and a person from Kenyan's an indigenous African, when I say indigenous how do you distinguish them and know the difference if you just calling everybody indigenous Africans, right? There's a difference in people. Everyone is not the same. So, like, I always got to be, you can't just say, for instance, uh, 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 that Asian, they wrestle good. They wrestle good in Asia. Well, which Asians you talking about? I mean, so it's nothing wrong with when people say Southeast Asia. You know, you're specifically talking about Cambodians and Vietnamese. So when you say North African, you're talking about people in North Africa. Okay, so indigenous Africans will keep confusion going. It's not specific. You're making everybody the same, and when you just hear that, it's just very confusing.
So yes,
Maybe so.
so again, so a person from India who's a Brahmin who practices Hinduism, he's just as in Asian as a Chinese that's probably an atheist or a Buddhist. But genetically, they're not far. They're very far from one another. And again, that Indian may share half of his DNA with ancient Russians. The Chinese might not have it, but we're not going to tell that Indian that he's not Asian or indigenous to India because he is. And that goes to show when they say the indigenous populations, like for example, I'm American. I'm not an ancient indigenous American, but when it comes to America that's been established for 247 years, my nativity, which is my nationality, I'm indigenous to North America. And
Yeah.
people couldn't say that I'm not American because if I go anywhere around the world and I talk and they hear me, oh, he's American. Doesn't matter if people look like me, they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna say he's American.
Yep.
So as an American, I am indigenous to America. I'm not an ancient indigenous or aboriginal person to America. I'm the portion of America from 247 years in inception. I'm American, and that's what all of us are. Even though we have multiple groups here, some of us descend from mainly sub-Saharan Africa. That's why we're labeled as black via black. You call black because they understand that you descend mainly from sub-Saharan Western Central Africa, or what they label south of the Sahara, below the Sahara, right? And then other people are just, they're white American, and within white America, they even have subsets. I got a friend, he's Irish. I mean, he said he's Irish white American. Another friend, my boy Luke, he's Polish, but he identifies as Polak or Polish white American. So what I'm saying is they do the same thing. So this whole only in America that shit matters. Outside of America, they don't give a hell what you look like. You're just American to people outside of America. Only here is this game is being played.
All right. Well, I'm gonna jump off because we all agree they Africans that was up in North Africa. That was my only understanding
The
from the
Egyptian,
article. So I'm good, man. Y'all have a good one.
So
Hey,
Joe,
hey, hey, Chief X, good
Joe,
show, man.
so Joe, basically,
Yeah.
I have never been wrong about anything on this subject. So
Stop
whoever
it.
told you I was wrong or crazy, all that is a bunch of bullshit from a nigga whose feelings hurt that he got his belief destroyed.
No.
Don't fall.
You
Don't get.
talking different right now, Chief
No, no,
X.
no,
Man,
no, no.
you could have changed your stance though, right? You could have changed your
Joe,
stance.
listen to what I'm telling you, family. Me and Ngozi are not wrong about anything we've been saying. If we are, you can't even say what we're wrong about. I've never been wrong. You have to
But
get
you
out
was
that.
talking different than this
Hold
before.
on, Joe. No, I'm not talking different. Joe, you got to get out that coat you in. You're in a coat, and you're in denial about a lot of stuff. You know, Ngozi knows genetics. You would never ever believe Ankh over Ngozi when it comes to genetics. Never do that. Don't let nobody brainwash you. We giving the experts' opinion. We ain't making shit up off our head. Peace out, bro.
Hey, Chief X. It would do you justice, right? Just to be honest and say, there's some stuff that I changed. I don't look at it the same way.
Name one thing I changed.
Because if you don't, then you're just setting yourself
Name
up.
one thing I changed.
You used to say that these people come from West Asia.
No, I didn't. Let me clarify what I said. Egypt, they unified Egypt and became a nation state. When I say people coming from somewhere, I made the statement that the Armana dynasty, which is Queen T and King Tut and stuff, their ancient DNA is West Asia's is K, mtDNA K. So it's West Asia. So clearly, their ancient ancestors were in West Asia somewhere. People in West Asia have been migrating in and out. So yeah, people are coming and going from different places. It's nothing wrong with that. That's the truth. So
yeah, that's the truth, but that's not how you used to characterize
That's how
it.
I've been saying that. It's all in my videos, Black Egypt Debunk. I've said the same exact thing.
All right. I would have to bring it back and show it to you then.
If I change, I tell you I changed.
All right. Another thing you used to say, they weren't dark-skinned people.
I never said that in my life. Ankh told you I said that, and you believe
Didn't you? No,
Stop. I will give you. I told you I'll give anybody on the planet, including Ankh who lied on me, $100 to pull any video from me saying there's no dark people in Egypt.
No, see, you changing it now. You changing it. You used to say North Africa.
No, listen.
The first time I heard you say it, you was on Sa. You was on Sa show. The first time I heard you say it.
Whether I say Egypt, North, I'm talking about the same place. I've never said that.
But you cleaning it up now.
No. What you need to do is go check Ankh and say, Ankh, why are you intentionally lying to black folk and lying to me? Go tell him that. You believe the liar.
This ain't got nothing to do with man. I'm my own man. I'm my own man, son.
You're quoting something Ankh said all day yesterday. Chief X been wrong for all the last 4 years because he claimed there was no dark people in Egypt. Get him out of here. We got him out of here now. Then he's playing mind games with you. And you're so gullible you're allowing him to. Check that Nick on that bullshit.
Chief X, I'm literally going off of your words. I had to just come back and let you have the clips or something.
What you're doing now is lying. I'll see you later, bro.
All right, later.
So Northeast.
Hit the
African,
link, Ankh. Hit
Egyptian.
the goddamn link, Ankh, if you want to talk. You're not blocked from here. You can always hit this link.
Oh yeah, so
go ahead, Biblical.
Chief X, right? So I think y'all were talking about Ramesses III, Y-DNA and the STRs and whatnot. And Ngozi did a great job explaining that. So basically, to give you an understanding of what's going on, so those samples too are being resequenced and are part of the Egyptian Genome Project. So those 200 royal mummies will be sequenced and hopefully published. And hopefully, the Egyptians are going to publicly publish these genomes. So other...
I've been incoherent. I'm sorry, Biblical DNA. Repeat what you said. I want you to tell the audience this because I think Ngozi said this also. I heard you yesterday saying, "Hey, we got 100 more things to sequence. Like this is just like the tip of the iceberg, basically.
Right.
They about to let the floodgates open on your ass.
Right. So yeah. So it's 300. It's around 300 plus ancient mummies that are being sequenced. So they're doing the 200, the royal mummy. They're doing the royal mummies to sequence, and hopefully is what I'm saying. Hopefully they publicly publish these genomes that gives the researchers, different researchers that's working on different studies, the opportunity to use these genomes for their research. So that'll be something wonderful. The reason about the Y-DNA of E1B1A, the YSCRs, like he was mentioning, there's like one YSCR marker. It's DYS390.
390. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 21, which is usually it's more than usual found in people who belong to E1B1A. I'm not saying
I don't know
always.
how y'all remember all this crazy shit. I couldn't.
It's
My
that's
memory.
what or Chief X, sorry for that insult I just did to you. I please forgive me. That's why it's so like me and Ngozi. That's why we take this when people we see pseudos that come at us and don't know anything about this and they're speaking about it. It's like it's kind of insult because we have a passion for this stuff. So especially like people that's going to college. I'm in graduate school right now for data science. Could you imagine? Like, it's so difficult. I'm doing bioinformatics this coming up fall. Can you imagine all the work these people do? And you see people that try to read the article and then say, oh, that's not what the article says. It's nuts. It's like, man, these people, they spend all this time to get their stuff peer reviewed and published to sit there and say, that's not what the article says.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yes,
It's a
and
lot.
you can, and see, the thing is, in scholarship, you can challenge, you can challenge, their research. You can challenge, but you have to provide evidence. You got to provide a valuable evidence refuting what they're saying, and that's research. That's a lot of research you have to do.
Biblical DNA, man. I like you, Cat. I like
Yeah, I
you.
appreciate it.
How old
Yeah.
are you anyway, by the way?
34.
I like you get down, I like your comedy. I like you talking shit. You don't take no shit. I absolutely love it. You're welcome on here anytime.
I was like this in the army too. I was like this in the army too. It's either people loved it or people hate it. But I was like, man, how can y'all live life so serious sometimes? I mean, it's good to be serious. That's where I learned it from in basic training, all the drill sergeants being so serious. But the drill sergeants also laugh too, though. They make you laugh and
Yeah.
cheer you up too.
I
So
was in the Navy. Thanks
you know what I'm
for your,
talking about.
thanks for your service.
You too.
Check
Thank
this
you for your
out.
service.
We're gonna close on out. Biblical DNA, say your last words, and Ngozi, say your last words, and we're gonna get out of here.
Hey, Chief X, I appreciate you so much for having me on to prove that this Nurat Egyptian was a Northeast African who had diversity coming from Western Eurasia. And thank you so much. I appreciate Ngozi for sharing your knowledge and helping Chief X read those 2 articles. Peace.
Peace out, bro.
Peace. I appreciate you for letting me on. I wanted to be able, and I thank my brother Biblical DNA for coming up here. I want to thank Chief X for allowing me on. I want to thank everybody. Even like this the whole thing. It's an amazing thing. I just want to make it clear because I was going back and forth with brother Reggie, and I wanted to really fully explain what Neolithic North Africans was, and I'm glad you let me on to speak. And hopefully people can go to my YouTube channel, which is Street Sufi Justice Amir, and I also have a Facebook page if you guys are interested. Where I put up a lot of this information. Justice Amir, check it out. You'll see me, Justice Amir, or go to Street Sufi Justice Amir and check it out. And I appreciate you and thanks for
Yeah,
listening.
Ngozi does. People don't know. Ngozi has a YouTube channel. Say the
Yeah,
name
that's
of your YouTube channel again, Ngozi.
Justice Amir, Street Sufi. So if you type up Justice Amir Street Sufi, you'll see like the little videos and the animation that they put together. Because I'm trying to create a podcast, so I'm just starting to do it now. So I'm starting.
All 60 of you listening, 70 of you listening, go right now and so subscribe to his page and support the brother. I mean, we like the only ones trying to really kick some real truth and get back to what we supposed to be. You know what I mean? I'm a West African. I claim Asante gang, West African. When I
Yes,
went to
sir.
Ghana, we went 4 miles inland. We didn't just hang in Accra on the coast. We went 4 miles inland. I was in Kumasi, Ghana, where the Asantes be at. So I claim Asante gang.
That's right. That's right.
And I represent West Africa to the fullest.
All day, all day. So peace and love, Chief X. I appreciate you and thank you. Peace.
Peace and love. So y'all can give me $1 and hit my cash app. Give me $5, hit my cash. Excuse me, my cash app. You know what I mean? Great show. So will we shut down? This should be the final straw. Black Egypt is dead. Coming from the South is dead. I shouldn't hear that out of nobody's mouth again. Okay? What else? And you better get on the right side of history. Donnie Williams got on the right side of history. You better get ahead of the curve. More DNA and genetic information will be coming out, seeping out all year, all next year, to the point where you just niggas is just gonna have to shut the hell up. I mean, it's like Egyptologists say, facts are not supposed to hurt. God damn. Get over it already. Embrace your ancestors and leave other people's shit alone. Now, it's nothing wrong with studying ancient Egypt, learning the Medu Neter. There's nothing wrong with studying any culture, anybody's history. That is totally 100% fine. The problem comes when you try to claim that history and them people as you. That's the fucking problem. And that's what the fuck y'all been doing. It's not a problem with you guys studying and learning about it. But when you claim that these people and those people and everybody else is you, that's when you're fucked up. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Peace for all my moderators. Dario, Donnie Williams, Egyptologist. Thanks for the donations. Miss Mayad, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Chef Ron, I appreciate you for the donation you gave. I mean, let's keep it rolling. Peace, y'all. We out.